Are we live? I said, are we live into his ass? I said, are we live? All I need to know, are we live? Are we live, everybody? Are we back? Are we on the right channel? Because I tried before and we was on a channel I ain't never heard of. Well, it's one of mine we never used. So let's get it. Oh, your mic is jacked. Can you weather the storm? So enter. You're all scared. There's no. Let's engage. But in the underground, no heat or sizzle. Leave them warned. Federal or bitter, or north and bend, or around the bend. It doesn't matter. I'll spatter those phony goes down with a trip. And if you sound like an old Hitchcock script, I rip that fake gangster shit to script. Get that be hip hop head. Step out so I can knock your dumb ass out. Next up, this is vocal intercourse. Hey, we got to pause it. Because I can hear that again. I'm sorry. I know I had too many melodies in that. And I really regret that I erased my track machine copy of that. But man, I was getting down. Say what you want to say, I was getting down. And if you play that on a system, man, I was getting down. Now, there's a lot of sounds there. I know I put too many in there, but God darn it, they all go together. I just wish that I had to mix them up. Took some in, brought some out. But when I first started, and I was using the 4-track machine, you lay your beat, your bass line, and your melody. But I had a sequencer on the keyboard. And that was before I got the track machine. So I literally had to do it again. And that's a lot of melody. I mean, that's a lot of melody. Now, could I do it again? Yeah. It's going to take a while. I mean, it's going to take time. It's like, it's too many melodies. Like I said, if I did it again, I would want to do it live. And y'all going to wait. Are y'all going to wait for me to redo that live? I still got the lyrics over there. I'll probably write new lyrics for it, but it's just going to take time. So, all right, y'all, we came over here so that we can show links. So put the links in the chat. Where's everybody? Told y'all I was coming back. I had to I forgot. On the OBS, you got to change the stream key. I was live on another channel. I put the wrong stream key in. I was live on the wrong channel. I had to go delete that. But anyway, we back. And our topic for the day was following behind Donald Trump. California is the #1 coronavirus epicenter in the world. California followed by New York, because California knocked New York out and took out the #1 spot. Number 3 and 4 is Florida and Texas. And I guarantee you, Florida is going to take out New York before Monday. And Texas is going to take them out before Wednesday. By this time next week, it's going to be Florida, California, and Texas. That's going to be your 1, 2, 3. The 3 states that Donald Trump, when he was making fun of Cuomo and making fun of the governor of Connecticut and New Jersey, he was making fun of them. Talking about, we ain't got no problem in states like Florida, Texas, and California. It's only those Democrats up north. Well, those 3 states that he named are going to be your 1, 2, and 3. Proving that Donald Trump is the biggest idiot in the world. And that's proof. And you can come over here and make all the excuses you want to make. I'll listen. You can call in 443-461-4518. I'm sorry. You can call in if you want to come get this work. Come on in. We only got 2 people here. Where's everybody? Now, y'all wanted to show links, so come on, put the links in the chat. That's why we switched channel. I'm not putting the big channel in danger. That's why we came over here. So we got a show on the big channel. I guess I'll get my 2 cents. But now I'm on this channel and we ain't making no sense, but we can have fun. because we ain't got to worry about being flagged. So bring the information that you want to bring. Hey Dave, since you here, and it look like it's just me and you, let me ask you a question. Some of the people think that you the one doing the clone channel. Is this true, sir? Some of the people that hit me up behind the scenes, they think that you doing it. So I'm asking you, sir, are you the one doing the clone channel? I was emailing the YouTube team today. It's either you or Triple Dog. Come on, Dave. I was waiting for you to come on the last show. You didn't come. But you're here now. Answer yourself. Hello. It's just me and you in the chat, Dave. Last chance. I only need 3. I only need 3 people to take you out. The last chance. Going once. Going twice. Bye. So I guess we'll be down to 1 viewer. I don't care. But now that we can show links, let me go ahead and open up. There it is. Let's open that up. All right. Let's open up a new channel. New window. There you go. All that time I was chasing you around, you wouldn't come out. That's all right. I'm going to get you. You better enjoy yourself. And I'm putting the easy off on you. That's how I took out your friend. I'm going to put the easy off on you. So keep on flying by. I was looking for you the whole time I was setting up. And that chump wouldn't show his face. I got something for you. Anyway, let's get back to business here. That's all right. You wait till I get off of here. I'm going to take you out. It's going to be my pleasure. All righty. So let's see what's going on. Uh-oh, Trump reveals one thing he regrets. Well, let's hear it. Now, this should be perfect on your screen. Wait a minute. We got to fix it. We got to choose it. Is that it? No, it didn't change. What's going on here? There it is. Be right on time. All right, let me skip that ad.
There's a lot of talk about the so-called new tone from the president from this week, but I mean, he held a White House event for children. They weren't wearing masks. He's still not walking the walk.
Yeah, in his actions, I think his actions show that he still wants his world to be just the way that it was before this pandemic, even though the rest of the country, they have to live in a world in which masks are increasingly becoming required in all public spaces. You see at the White House, because the president is being tested so regularly, and because people around him are being tested regularly, the president's aides and supporters say, well, he doesn't need to social distance. He doesn't need to wear a mask in the same way that others do. But what that shows to the public is that do as I say, not as I do. There is a part of the job of the presidency that is demonstrating the kinds of actions that he wants the American public to follow, and clearly that is not what has been happening at the White House in recent days.
Well, you see how the American public, has viewed President Trump in this whole COVID response, right? You juxtapose the poll numbers from the president versus that of Vice President Joe Biden, and Biden is clearly pulling away. And, there are examples of how, I was talking to Dana earlier this week, and I loved how she was describing how the president's been on this island of, I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm not social distancing, and all of a sudden you realize, well, maybe I need to, say something different. But I'm just wondering, I mean, 3 months till the election, I get that anything can happen, but what more does he need to do, COVID-wise?
Well, I do think that he needs to demonstrate control over the situation. The fact that Americans don't think he's handled the pandemic well is at the core of his low approval rating. And it's not just whether he's wearing a mask. It's not just whether or not he is talking about it. It is also the fact that he still talks about not really liking testing. He says he'll allow more testing, but he doesn't really think that testing is necessary. He's still giving the public mixed messages. I think people in this country understand that there needs to be more testing, partly because when they try to go for a test, maybe they can't get one. Maybe they're waiting a week and a half for their result, and they believe that is a problem. So it's an overall competency issue for the president, not just one-offs, not just these individual briefings. And until he's able to really change that perception, it's going to be very hard for him to recover against Joe Biden nationally, and in all of these battleground state polls that have been coming out in recent days showing him double digits behind Joe Biden.
Meanwhile, Obama-Biden team getting together, releasing this teaser of a sit-down conversation these two have recently. Here's just a clip.
Can you imagine standing up when your president saying, it's not my responsibility? I take no responsibility. It's not, literally, his words didn't come out of our mouth while we were us. I don't understand his inability to get a sense of what people are going through. He just can't relate in any way.
Abby, clearly Joe Biden is seizing on this COVID moment, but again, 3 months of the election, anything can happen. Do you think this is a safe bet going along on this for Team Biden?
Yeah, I do think the Biden thinks it's a safe bet. I think they want to stay on the course that they are on. They've been criticized even by some of their allies that perhaps he's not upfront enough. Some of his allies really dislike the kind of basement Joe Biden that they saw over the last few months. So this is actually, I think, more people want to see these really polished videos, bringing Obama in for Democrats, a universally-liked political figure. And I think about how President Trump calls Joe Biden Sleepy Joe Biden. I think the Biden campaign wants Biden to be thought of as normal Joe Biden. They want to present this image of this is what you can go back to, this presidency. They want to project competence. They want to bring up how the Obama administration was sort of known as the no-drama Obama. That is what they want to remind people of. I think that's what they're trying to do in that video. It's a nostalgia video, aimed not just at Democrats, but also at other Americans who they want to recall that era in which things didn't seem perhaps so chaotic as they do now.
Their American voters will vote that way in November. I do want to get you on this because we just heard the president just did this interview with Barstool Sports, and he made this rare admission saying that he sometimes regrets his tweets. Roll this sound.
You know, it used to be in the old days before this, you write a letter and you say, this letter's written, you put it in your desk and then you go back tomorrow and you say, oh, I'm glad I didn't send it, right?
But we don't do that with Twitter, right? We put it out instantaneously, we feel good, and then you start getting phone calls. Did you really say this? I say, what's wrong with that? And you find a lot of things. You know what I find? It's not the tweets, it's the retweets that get you in trouble.
Happy, what do you think of that? Right?
So interesting. Well, Brooke, I mean, listen to what he said at the end there. He says two things. One, it's the retweets, but also he says people will call him and ask him about what he tweeted. Remember, when he tweeted that video of the villages in Florida with the man screaming white power, it stayed up because his aides could not get a hold of him to ask him to take it down. He was on the golf course. So it does seem that that is one of the things that he is referring to, a retweet of that controversial video that he didn't look into, apparently, because he says in this clip that we didn't play this part, but he says later that some things you don't investigate, but you retweet them and you get in trouble for it. Well, yeah, that was a clear example of a thing he maybe didn't investigate, even though he said in the first few seconds of that video that got him in trouble. You don't hear often the president expressing regret. He certainly didn't apologize, but I think you see there a recognition that, yeah, there are lines that he thinks are too controversial to cross. Does he apologize for them? No, but clearly he understands that they're not helpful to him or even perhaps to his political standing.
Retweeting white supremacist tweets, not a good idea, Mr. President. Here's my last question, because he also made news, I'm just looking at the notes I was just handed. The president in his Barstool Sports interview said that he loves being president, but that he said his life was great before running for president. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that actually has come up for President Trump many times in the past. He talks often about the great life that he used to have and how much he sacrificed and gave up to be president of the United States. To be fair, Brooke, he was a very wealthy man, a private businessman. He perhaps did not need to run for president. He did, but it is interesting to hear someone say that as president. Usually you have people saying how great it is to be president, how much they love their job, but clearly this is all weighing on the president. He talks also, when he talks about his prior life, how much he's gone through because of the Russia probe, and I do think that he feels victimized by a lot of the things that have happened to him over the course of this presidency, principal among them, the Russia investigation, which is why even though it's over, he's been impeached, he's been acquitted in that impeachment proceeding, he has not let that go, and maybe pines for his old life. We know after the presidency, he plans to have his residence in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. I think he wants to go back to that life of golfing, golfing on his property.
He may pine for that old life, but listen, the man's running for 4 more years, so obviously life isn't too shabby for him for now at the White House. Abby Phillip, you are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brooke.
Thanks.
Jamone having no DQ night.
King of the undisputed stalkers and harassers, nigga.
Hey, they don't like I said. I want
King
to educate
of the undisputed. King, shut up, Vic. King of the undisputed stalkers and harassers. It's your nigga Chucky. Subscribe to Chucky 713. I'ma drag Jazzy like the stripper she is at 11 p.m. EST. Bitch, I'm out. Vic, you sold my rings. Hey, shut up, nigga. You sold my rings for $300 like a hoe. And I'm gonna tell you to your face, you a bitch. You a bitch, okay? You a bitch.
Well, I still love you though, so it's all good.
You still a bitch.
Yeah.
You a bitch, okay? You hear me? You hear me? You a bitch.
Yeah, we got the sound bite. I think Candy
You
gonna
a
play.
bitch.
Yeah.
Man, fuck that dry pussy hoe. You a bitch, Vic. You a bitch. Because I'm gonna tell you why you a bitch, okay? And I want you to hit my link tonight at 11 o'clock your time. I'm gonna tell you a bitch. Nigga, I wouldn't, the girl said, Chucky, I get $2K for it. I said, you got me fucked up. Vic ain't stunned in his car talking about motherfucking Vic stunned in his car talking about $300. The girl at $2K. $2,000, man. What you talking about, Vic?
We both get donations.
You know Chelsea, right?
Yeah, bro, we both get donations. We all get money. So,
Vic,
yeah.
you remember the $1,200 from Celine to stalk her husband because he wouldn't sign a divorce papers. Remember that?
Well, yeah, I know who Celine is. Yeah, for sure.
No, fuck Celine. You remember the story, nigga, with your nigga Chuck out of H-Town. Stop playing with me, Vic.
Well, no, I wasn't like too
You
familiar
remember
with
the
it.
$1,000 donation? $1,000 because my husband won't sign the divorce papers. Chucky make him sign it. I told him. I text his phone one time for $1,000, bitch. I'm real. You know what I mean? Fucked up.
Oh, yeah, Chucky is legit now. Okay, man. Well, niggas gotta learn. These new people.
Chad said, them white girls slide.
These are new people. They new people. They
I
don't
know.
shit. You don't know shit. I don't even try to teach nobody nothing no more. It's like a waste of time. Trying
Hey,
to
Vic, I told that hoe, I said, I'll call the job right now. She sent me 200, said, can I ask you a question, nigga? Ask Chassie and Celine.
All right, y'all.
Who's streaming on Peacock?
All righty. We went and took a look, and I regret it. But now, y'all, that was your boy Chucky. Victor Moon letting him talk to him like a dog on his own show. I ain't got no comment. Leave it alone. 146 people over there watching that, though. 146 people over there watching that. What's wrong with our people? 146 people over there watching that. people. 146 of our idiots over there watching that. Something wrong with our people. I'm just sitting there watching. Like people really are entertained by that. I don't get it. Let's keep going. So everybody wanted to show link, and we came over here, and nobody brought me a link yet. The raffing don't go off till 10 o'clock, so I'll keep going. This person lying here, but come on, listen to this person lie. Come on and lie, sir. Come on and lie.
Pandemic unemployment assistance really heats up, but what will happen to FPUC? Will it get extended or will it get changed?
Come on, man. God darn.
LLA with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. This one about FPUC, that's $600 from the federal government per week, provided under the first stimulus package, which is expiring or has expired, depending on which state you live in. And the future of FPUC being reignited or reinstalled under a second stimulus package. Let me get right to the news, and it's really just a hot mess on a Friday afternoon. Second stimulus packages have been floating around for days and days and days. And ultimately, as you sat here, you saw in some states your $60 a week benefit from the federal government expiring. Yes. Last Friday, a week ago today, I told you that FPUC from the federal government would fundamentally, by application, expire this week. And across many of the states, it has now expired. What's going on? Under the CARES Act, FPUC was to be provided for up to a certain number of days in the month of July. But states don't pay benefits for unemployment to the very day. They pay them by week. Ultimately, FPUC is expiring. So if you are on PUA or UI and had that supplement from FPUC under the CARES Act, it's now expiring. So will it get reinstated? Well, this is the real rub that's happening today. The Democrats introduced a bill back in May that says we're going to extend FPUC into middle of next year. Now, how many months is middle of next year? Is that temporary? Is that long-term? I don't know what adjective you use for it. Mitch McConnell, when he saw that, says, no, I'm not going to agree to any extension of FPUC. It's dead on arrival. That's what he said in May. Yesterday, he said, I will agree to an extension of FPUC temporarily. Okay, Mitch, what does the word temporarily mean in your mind? A day or middle of next year? I mean, what is temporary? The whole bill is a temporary bill, so what does that mean? Of course, the news reporters were about as ignorant as could be. They didn't follow up and say, what does the word temporarily mean? But that was what he said then. Across town, Steve Mnuchin said, you know what, I would support an extension of FPUC, but paid at 70% of what's currently at, which would land at about $300 to $400. That was one of the few things that news reporters have done good this week, broadcast news reporters, bad grammar, is that they asked Mnuchin, what number do you want FPUC extended at? And he said, I probably would agree to $300 to $400 per week.
All right, put me to sleep, man. God darn, okay.
Mr. President, it's an honor to speak with you.
God darn, you put me to sleep. You can do something, but God darn, you put me to sleep.
That threatens peace in our streets and the safety of our fellow American citizens and the safety of our brave law enforcement officers. Yet some Democrats and some in the media continue to ignore reality. As Portland's Democrat Mayor Ted Wheeler tweeted, quote, what I saw last night was powerful in many ways. I listened, heard, and stood with the protesters, and I saw what it means when the federal government unleashes paramilitary forces against its own people. That was a quote from the Democrat mayor, who quite literally stood in the middle of a riot as violent protesters attacked a federal building. That is appalling, and Mayor Wheeler is clearly failing at his duty to protect his streets and his city there in Portland. The federal government has a sworn duty to uphold the laws of the United States. Through field offices and federal facilities across the country, these agents protect and serve the American people. Yet the rhetoric of the left undermines our justice system, with Nancy Pelosi calling them stormtroopers, Jim Clyburn calling them the Gestapo, and Wheeler using the term paramilitary forces. Under President Trump, violent crime rates in America finally began to fall. Rhetoric like this cannot be allowed to set us back. Augmenting the Federal Protective Service, guarding federal property in Portland, our brave officers have since augmenting them, I should say, our brave officers have faced all of these various things, like rioters barricading officers inside the Hatfield Federal Courthouse, trapping officers inside, a, quote, commercial-grade mortar firework was launched by rioters, a federal agent's hand was impaled by planted nails, another federal agent was shot with a pellet gun, leaving a wound deep to the bone, and tragically, 3 federal officers were likely left permanently blinded by the rioters using lasers pointed directly at their eyes. These are not the actions of so-called peaceful protesters, and the Trump administration will not stand by and allow anarchy in our streets. Law and order will prevail, and I have a short video for you because I want it to be real what is happening right now in Portland. So if we could play that video, that'd be great.
So we got people dying.
My dog.
And you worrying about what's going on in Oregon. Oregon don't have a CV problem like that.
As you can see, that is anything but a peaceful protest, and this president will always stand on the side of law and order. And with that, I'll take.
Okay. I didn't see nobody from Black Lives Matter there, Miss Cali. I didn't see nobody black. I saw white folks tearing that stuff up. Why is the president keep mentioning Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter not involved in that stuff. He don't even have the courage to call out the white folk that's doing that stuff. And you expect us to take you seriously? I saw black folk. I saw white folk. That looked like a white gay lady that was telling them cops that they hope that they burn up or whatever. I'm listening. I'm listening, Miss Cali. Get back to this liar.
Any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much. I want to ask you about the convention, and then I have another question on foreign policy. First of all, has President Trump determined where he's going to or how he's going to deliver his speech? He said he's working on that yesterday.
So he hasn't decided that just yet, but we have a number of really creative, exciting options that he's looking at. It's a question more for the RNC, but he's very excited about the prospect of what will come with the convention.
And I want to ask you about something that he tweeted back in April. He said Joe Biden wanted the date for the Democratic National Convention moved to a later time period. Now he wants a virtual convention, one where he doesn't have to show up. Gee, I wonder why. Does the president regret that now?
Well, as you know, I can't respond to Joe Biden. You'd have to ask the campaign about that. But the president's circumstances changed in Florida, where we intended to have the convention. As the circumstances on the ground changed, the president changed his viewpoint on having the convention in Jacksonville at that particular location.
I wanted to ask you about the president's phone call with Vladimir Putin. Did the president raise the issue of Russian bounties on the lives of American troops during that phone call?
So as you know, that intelligence is unverified still to this day. There are dissenting opinions within the intel community. I won't get into the president's private discussions with a foreign leader. I was not on that call, but that intelligence is still unverified. But rest assured, our president will always stand with our military and protect them against any and every foreign adversary.
Yes, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell announced that John Lewis will be lying in state at the Capitol Monday and Tuesday. Does the president plan to go to the Capitol to visit John Lewis on one of those days?
I have no announcements about the president's upcoming plans, but John Lewis was a civil rights icon. We lowered the flag at the White House here to signify that. So I have no future announcements of the president's plans other than to make that one note. Yes.
Thank you very much. So the Senate has approved overwhelmingly a bill that would require the renaming of faces that are named after Confederate leaders. How is it that Senator Inhofe assured the president he was going to be able to remove that from legislation that has passed both chambers of Congress?
Yeah, I'll leave that to Senator Inhofe as to how that works legislatively speaking, but the president was assured by Senator Inhofe that that would be changing and that Republicans stood with the president on this and stood with the rest of America. 56%, according to an ABC Ipsos poll, are opposed to the changing of the U.S.-based names.
Okay, thanks. Two quick questions. I think you probably hear this often. When can Americans expect some money in their pockets by way of stimulus? What's the president's plan to get that money to them as quickly as possible? And just a question about COVID reporting. Is the White House at all concerned about inaccuracies or inconsistencies with respect to COVID death reporting?
So first, let me note, when we look at numbers, we want the most accurate reporting. And I went through last week the CDC numbers. We want to make sure hospitals are truly reporting all the information they're getting. One of the systems of data gathering, only 81% of hospitals were reporting into another HHS system, was getting a more full picture of what we're seeing in hospitals. So we want to ensure all of our information is accurate, and we trust the numbers that we're getting from HHS and CDC. With regard to phase 4, those negotiations are ongoing. These are long and extended negotiations. We feel that it's very important from the White House House to address unemployment insurance in particular, and also money for schools and ensuring that the money for schools enables students to make school choices, like actually going to a physically open school. So right now, that's where the discussions lie at the moment.
One more quick one, very quickly. Drug pricing is so critical to American seniors. Often you hear terrible stories, frankly, about people having to ration drugs because of the incredible cost. What exactly practically can the American public expect the president to do to lower the cost of prescription drugs?
That's a great question. The president today at 3 p.m. will be talking about drug pricing, and he'll be announcing some actions he's taking on that front. So I'll leave it to him to announce those future actions. But in 2018, he released a landmark blueprint to lower prescription drug prices. It's an issue he's been very passionate about, which is why he signed legislation ending the gag clauses that stop pharmacists from informing patients about lower drug prices, and average basic premiums for Medicare Part D prescription drug plans have actually fallen by 13.5% since 2017. So he's done a lot already, but more to come this afternoon, actually. Caitlin.
I have two questions for you. This morning, Dr. Burke said that it is still an open question how rapidly children under 10 can actually spread COVID-19. But the other day, the president said they don't bring it home very easily and they don't transmit very easily. So shouldn't we figure out which one of those it is before kids go back to school?
So let me give you two answers to this. First, I would point you to CDC guidelines that said based on current data, the rate of infection among younger school children and from students to teachers has been low, especially if proper precautions are followed. There have also been few reports of children being the primary source of COVID-19 transmission among family members. That's where the data currently stands. But that being said, even if there is transmission and later studies come out, let's say, we believe that students should be going back to school because the effect on a child, we know scientifically, they are not affected in the same way as an adult. Again, I'd point you to CDC guidelines on this that says the best available evidence indicates if children become infected, they are far less likely to suffer severe symptoms. Death rates among school-age children are much lower than among adults and far lower than during the H1N1 pandemic, for instance, when schools remained open.
Yeah, and Dr. Brooks knows that too, unless kids have an underlying condition, but she said they do not know how rapidly they can spread it still if they're under 10, and that's one of the president's top advisors.
So on the transmission point, I point you again to the CDC, but I would also say that it is our firm belief that our schools are essential places of business, if you will, that our teachers are essential personnel. You all here are considered essential workers, which is why you were coming into the briefing room every day during the pandemic. Our meat packers were meat packing because they were essential workers. Our doctors were out there treating because they're essential workers, and we believe our teachers are essential. Particularly, I pour over the data on schools often, and the one thing that really stuck out to me, I read through the entirety of the CDC guidelines, was that I talk about child abuse often, and 1 in 5 cases being reported in schools. Well, the CDC guidelines went on to say there has not just been a sharp decline in reports of suspected maltreatment, but tragically a notable increase in evidence of child abuse when children are seen for services during the pandemic. For example, in Washington, D.C., Child and Family Services Agency recorded a 62% decrease in child abuse reporting calls between mid-March and April compared to the same time period in 2019, but saw more severe presentation of child abuse cases in emergency rooms. That's a tragedy, and our schools must reopen.
Okay, my question is on transition rates, but anyway, my second question is also on the president's call with the Russian president yesterday. Today, the nation's top counterintelligence official said that Russia is one of 3 countries that is actively working to interfere in our election. Did the president bring up election interference on the call with the Russian president yesterday?
Again, I wasn't on the call, but the president, I was not on the call. The president has taken more actions for election security than his predecessor, who gave a stand-down order when he learned about election interference. Susan Rice gave that stand-down order. Obama's intel chief even confirmed that stand-down order was given. By contrast, we've given a ton of funding to election security. We take our elections seriously, and we believe in election integrity.
Justin,
I was not on the call, Caitlin. Stop filibustering. Justin, let your colleagues ask questions. Justin, okay, Justin no longer has a question. Anyone else?
Caitlin,
Okay.
Around 20 million Americans are receiving expanded insurance benefits, and some are going to receive the last of those checks tomorrow. Have Senate Republicans in the White House settled on time yet to extend UI? If so, can you And if not, did you wait too long to try to sort this out?
Those discussions are still ongoing, and I'm not going to get in the middle of the negotiation, other than to say, when I answered Kevin's question up here, I said that our priority right now is we feel it's very important to address extending those unemployment insurances, and how that looks, I'll leave it to them, but that is, unemployment insurance is a top priority for us right now.
Ain't no top priority. I gotta stop you right there. He's a liar. It was a top priority. They end today. They took a 2-week vacation. And then a whole weekend gone by, they've done nothing and let it end. They let it end. What do you mean it's a priority? If it's a priority, why did you let it end? I'm just asking the question. If it's a priority, why you let it end?
Facilities that are in retaliation for what happened in Texas. We haven't really heard from the White House if you could spell out specifically why you guys decided to close the Houston facility. I know that there's obviously broad complaints that you've raised for weeks with China, but why Houston specifically? And secondly, if you have a reaction to the steps China took.
Yes, our action to direct the closure of the PRC Consulate General in Houston was taken to protect American intellectual property and Americans' private information. For years, the CCP has undertaken a whole of society effort to steal American technology and intellectual property for commercial gain, and many of those activities are directed from PRC diplomatic facilities, and we urge the CCP to cease these malign actions rather than engage in tit-for-tat retaliation. So that's where we stand on that. Jeff.
Okay, the president's tone on the virus this week seems to have changed. He's advocated a few different times for Americans to wear masks. He said that the virus or the pandemic would get worse before it gets better. He canceled most of the convention, or certainly the Florida part, yesterday. All of these things were bad 2 months ago, even longer than that. And the science on masking has been clear for several months. What changed this week? Why did his tone change?
There has been no change. The president said on March 31st, before there was even a recommended but not required guidance given by the CDC on mask wearing, the president already said, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. It doesn't harm anyone. And that was before, that was when our scientists even were, some of them were saying, don't wear a mask. So the president has been consistent on this. He wore a mask back at the Ford facility. He carries it around in his pocket. He showed it to you multiple times. He hasn't changed. In fact, and just speaking on COVID generally, the way I've heard him talk privately in the Oval Office is the way he's talking out here. The only thing that changed is the president taking dozens and dozens and dozens of your questions each and every day, because he felt the best way to get information to the American people was for him to be out here answering your questions and providing this directly.
The other part of the question wasn't just about masking, although I would argue that if you look back and see when he called it political threat, for example, that wasn't exactly agreeing with the science of wearing masks. But setting that aside,
no, but let's not set that aside, because in that incident when he used the words politically correct, it was in reference, I believe you were asking him a question, was it? And you were standing outside and you'd been tested and you were wearing a mask and he couldn't hear your question, so he asked for you momentarily to pull down the mask. So that was the specific context, and context does matter here.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to engage in that, but I was standing around other reporters and using the same mic that other people were using. That's why I left my mask on.
Right, well, he could not hear your question. He asked for you temporarily to pull it down. Everyone in the press pool's tested, so scientifically you were not in a compromising position, but he hasn't changed his tone. But this president, the reason he wants to bring back these briefings is to get information out there. Like, we've done 52.9 million tests nationwide, 187 emergency use authorizations, for test manufacturing, 20 million swabs per month, use the DPA over 20 times. All of these great successes of this administration, like distributing 31,000 cases of remdesivir, enough to treat nearly 200,000 patients. None of this is getting covered. And you've got the best messenger, the duly elected president of the United States, talking directly to the American people and getting extraordinary ratings as they tune in to get information from their leaders.
Yes, the question wasn't about that last piece. I just want to clarify one thing, Caitlin.
Okay, John Malara's question. Anyone else?
I just want to clarify.
I didn't want to talk over it. If you don't mind, Jeff, maybe we can come back to you.
I would like to finish my point.
Yeah, but everyone in the front row is us get 5 questions. People in the back row don't even get the opportunity to ask questions.
I want to ask about the Senate Defense Authorization Bill, which passed by a veto-proof majority yesterday, and the House earlier this week also passed their version of the defense bill, also by a veto-proof majority. And both of those bills contain mandates that the Pentagon rename these military bases, which are named in honor of Confederate generals. I want to ask you, does the President believe that his position, which we're all familiar with, it's helpful in terms of recruitment, specifically for African Americans? Explain how that position will help recruit African Americans in an all-volunteer military force.
The president stands with the American people. 56% don't want to see the bases' names changed. Where he stands is in a place where many soldiers who have lost their lives overseas, the last ground that they saw were these bases, and by changing their names, he believes that it is not appropriate that those soldiers who lost their lives to be told that the ground that they left.
His position, and you just restated it very well, but I'm asking you specifically, how is this helpful for an African American who wants to volunteer for our all-volunteer military forces to go to a base that's named for a Confederate general that worked to still put and keep in place slavery, which impacted their ancestors?
Because the bases are not known for the generals they're named after. The bases are known for the heroes within it.
So change the name then.
Black, white, Hispanic, of every race who have died on behalf.
Hold on a second. You just said it right there, dummy. You just said the name ain't got nothing to do with the base. Then take the name off of that. You can't have both ways. You said the name don't have nothing to do with the base. Then change the name. You just said the name don't have nothing to do with the base. If the name don't have nothing to do with the base, what's the problem in taking off the trader's name? So the name must have something to do with the base, right? Because you won't take off the trader's name. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me I'm wrong. She just said it herself. The name don't have anything to do with the base. The name of the school don't have nothing to do with the school. The street names on the street don't have nothing to do with the street. So take those traders' names off and put somebody else there. I'm just asking. Take Robert E. Lee off the names of the school. Take them off the names of the base. Take them off. Take them off. It's still the same base. Still got the same soldiers. We're asking you to take off those traders' names. But why you won't take off the traders? What is your allegiance to traders? Don't say it's history. The history says they traitors. What's your lot? What's your hold? What's your allegiance to men and women that wanted to destroy the country? Y'all get mad when I say there's no difference between Al-Qaeda. Why shouldn't the Muslims here be allowed to call their school Bin Laden? Why shouldn't they be allowed to call their churches the Muslim Church of ISIS? You would have a fit. But you expect us to let you push General Lee and other names in our face. This is the hypocrisy that I keep talking about. You talk out the side of your mouth. When it benefits you, it's fine. When it don't benefit you, it's not fine. But what benefit do you get out of keeping these racist people names out there? They're not going to come back to life, and defeat the North. They lost. They should be shunned. They literally should be shunned. But instead, you want to keep their names alive. Why? They lost. They should have been hung. They were treasonous against the country. They were terrorists. But you want to put to death Bin Laden. You had Trump go after a general who CNN said was a hero. What did that man do in 3 years? To go from being a hero and a friend to the United States to somebody that should be gunned down in the middle of the night. Trying to do what Obama did with Bin Laden. Except you got an innocent man. That's why you don't talk about it, do you? You gonna sweep it under the rug. It didn't happen. 179 people on an airplane. 179 civilians dead because of Trump. Soldiers at 2 different bases hurt because of Trump. But I don't see nobody talking about it because it's a part of history you don't want to admit. So it didn't happen, right? Jeez, man.
Half of this great country, and 56% of the nation agrees with the president.
It won't impact in any way recruitment is what your position is.
Next question.
Easy one answer.
Just the yes or no.
Can I want to circle back to school choice, which you mentioned a few minutes ago? So that means shifting the potential for shifting federal funds away from schools that don't open so that parents can use those funds for homeschooling or private schooling. The president vehemently opposes defunding police. Why is defunding public schools okay?
So the president has never wanted to take money away from schools, take money away from education. It is about keeping it with the child. The purpose of school funding is to educate a child. The child, if a school is closed, loses the opportunity to receive education and needed social services. I put up the chart a few weeks ago from McKinsey & Co. That showed that the student most impacted is the low-income student who's in a low-income community and doesn't have the resources as some other students. So that student should not be deprived of an educational opportunity and forever never be able to recover the deficit that child has had by being out of school for an entire year or more.
Schools in those underserved communities also are the ones that generally have terrible ventilation. They need the most money for upgrading. If this money is shifted away from those schools, how will they ever get into a situation where they could, in the case of a pandemic, properly serve their population?
Your question's a bit befuddling because if the problem is ventilation in schools and the school's closed and you're fixing the ventilation, the student isn't even in the facility because the school isn't even open. The whole point is the student deserves an educational opportunity and a good educational opportunity, which is why the money must follow the student. And I would also note in the CDC guide.
So, the driver gave us a video, an article that says that South Carolina is going to take billions from the public school system and give it to the private school system in Cali. Isn't that going to hurt the poor people of South Carolina? Aren't they going to have less? The money not following them. The money supposed to go to the public school system for those children, but those children not going to get the money. The money is going to go to the private school for the well-to-do children who are in a better situation. So the money supposed to follow the children that you wanted to follow. Not all the children. Just the children that you wanted to follow. That what you trying to say?
guidelines that they said with regards to food in particular, that there were 15 million children participating in the school breakfast program, 30 million in the school lunch program, and they said, quote, "It is difficult to maintain this type of school nutrition program over the long term," and they were talking about how we've managed to get meal services throughout the periods of school closures, but they went on to say it's difficult to maintain this type of program over the long term. There are severe consequences. I've mentioned the child abuse, the loss in education, and also when it comes to nutrition services as well.
Okay, so even though the schools are not open, can the kids still come to the school and get a breakfast? Can't they show up in the mask and get that breakfast and take it home? I'm just asking. They can't open up the cafeteria, and the people, they can come get a box lunch like they do at the camp, you know, where you get the milk or the juice, and then you get a little box, and they got your little sandwich in there, and they got your little apple in there. They can't come by and pick that up. They can be socially distant while they in line, and they can come up and somebody can hand them a box through a window or through the door. Can't that be done? Tell the children to get home, take a rag and wipe off the box. They can't wash the apple or pear or whatever you give them, orange. They can't wash it off. The people making the meals have gloves on. But the sandwich can be sealed in a Glad wrap bag. These are things that can be done. You can do that while the schools are closed. And not have the children all crammed together. Children can be checked out while they're in line by the social worker to see if they're having any bruises on them. See if there's anything different about them that they can spot. They can still come get breakfast and lunch if that's your concern, but they don't have to all be crammed together for 9 hours. I'm just asking. They can come get a lunch. They can come get a breakfast and a lunch in a box with their juice. And hey, you eat this now, and then when you get hungry again, eat that then, and hopefully their parents will come home and make them a meal. If that's what you're worried about, that could be done. You don't need them to sit in class all day to do that. They can walk up there once a day and get that, if you're so worried about it, and check them out while they're there.
Yes.
Kate, the payroll tax cut now on the table, is there anything that the White House considers the red line negotiations with Democrats? And then also another question.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into red lines. These negotiations are ongoing, and I'm not in the middle of them, so I'll wait to find out what the conclusions of those negotiations are. But I would just signal what I said at the top of this briefing about unemployment insurance being very important.
And then President Trump called off the Commission of Florida, citing safety. Does that give him pause for any of his future upcoming travel, like to Texas next week, which is a possible?
We take all necessary precautions, and we protect the president, his staff, and we make sure that we're following the guidelines and social distancing, and so we don't have concern about future travel.
The accusation that China is stealing intellectual property are new. Why came this order to shut down the consulate in Houston?
I'm not going to give any further information about our intelligence from the briefing podium, other than to note what I told Justin earlier on that particular matter. Yes.
On the question of working schools, yesterday, just minutes after the president's announcement he was going to cancel the Republican convention events in Jacksonville, he also made the case again for reopening schools. So why is it not safe to hold a Republican convention, but it is safe to reopen schools?
Yeah, schools are a different situation when you have children who, as the CDC guidelines clearly note, are not affected in the same way as adults. We can make certain arrangements like social distancing in schools and follow the CDC guidelines that have been laid out and try to, they're the best world guidelines I referenced. We can get our schools up to the best place we can get them in, especially if we're given additional school funding, the $105 billion that was mentioned that we are keen to see in a phase 4. So it's a different scenario when you have...
Nah. There you go again. Children don't have no say. So it's easier for you to place them where you want to place them. It's easier for you to sit them where you want to sit them. When you having a rally and you trying to get somebody to vote for you, if they want to sit next to somebody, they not going to pay you no mind. They giving you a vote. They ain't going to tell me where I'm going to sit. They ain't going to tell me to wear a mask. You need my vote. You can't make them people. That's the difference. Don't lie. Children, you can make do something. You can't make these hard-headed adults do nothing. They don't want to wear a mask. They're not going to wear a mask. They're going to take it to butt. You going to tell them they can't sit together? What? We got to sit 6 feet apart? You must have lost your mind. So that's why you're not having the convention, because you cannot make the people. Like the last one you had, everybody was all sitting together, all crunched up, no mask on. Right? So stop lying.
Packed adults in the room versus these students that we can make precautions and take measures to protect. Yes.
Thank you, Katie. I have a question about COVID, but first I want to ask about using federal officers. Does the president believe he has the power to send DHS agents and officers anywhere in the country that he wants to?
The president believes that his authorities, with regard to DHS, which is distinct from DOJ, there's Operation Legend, which is primarily led by DOJ, and that's just providing extra FBI and ATF and DEA agents to already existing places, just surging extra personnel in places that are out of control, like Chicago, for instance. Separate and distinct from Portland, which is DHS, and his power pertains to 40 U.S. Code 1315. I read that statute for you in the last briefing, so I won't bore you with reading it again, but that's with protecting federal property. So those are the two lanes that we've acted on and look at.
For those DHS, those officers and agents, does he believe he has the power to send them anywhere he wants?
He believes they're there to protect federal property, so I'll leave it to you to determine where's federal property.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, has the president reminded those federal agents and officers that their constitutional obligation to not violate certain procedure rights and not take people into custody without probable cause?
Well, Chad Wolf is leading this operation over at DHS, and he has made clear that his officers are acting within the bounds of the law. Of course, we encourage everyone to act within the bounds of the law and the Constitution.
President Trump has repeatedly said that he wouldn't watch sports or support sports if players continue to kneel. So why has he agreed to throw out the first pitch at the Yankees game next month, considering that baseball players know about last night's games?
Yeah, I'll leave it to him as to address the Yankees game. He's very excited to throw out the first pitch, and I was not a part of the discussions as to how that's going to work in terms of the first pitch. I've learned about it when you guys did, and he's very excited to throw it out. Yes.
Thank you, Katie. 2 questions. We understand that the governor of Florida is on campus today. Can you confirm, can you talk about that visit? Will he be meeting with the president?
Yes, Governor DeSantis is here. He's here to be a part of the drug pricing event, but he will be talking and meeting with the president further to discuss COVID and other matters.
Okay, will they be discussing the convention? I have 2 questions, if I may ask the second one.
This is why I like to save time for you guys in the back.
I appreciate it. Yes. Do you have any guidance on when the president will be signing that immigration order that he's been talking about?
Yeah, so no guidance other than to say I laid out that he would have a merit-based EO, and he really would like a legislative fix for DACA and would like Democrats to come to the table, but no guidance on timing just yet.
Thank you, Katie. On federal law enforcement efforts, meaning Operation Legend, we're talking about funding for a lot of these programs. Anytime we're talking about federal anything, we should be talking about the money behind it. So with Operation Legend, it appears to be filling a law and order void in majority Democrat cities. So given this fact, in terms of the funding, would the citizen of, say, Springfield, Missouri be called to pay for the security and the federal protections of the incompetence of Chicago, Illinois? Is that something that has been discussed as far as funding for Operation Legend?
I'm not aware of that being discussed in particular. I think where the president's head is at right now is, you look across the country and it is Democrat streets where you're seeing a lot of this lawlessness. In Minneapolis, murders have spiked 94%. Philadelphia, murders have spiked 27% over a year ago. New York City, 277% increase in shootings over a year ago. Chicago, the most egregious, 414 people killed, 50% increase over a year ago. We saw under President Obama, violent crime started to tick up, started to come down under this president. He restored law and order. And then this defund the police movement has been an absolute travesty. And it's why you have 67% of Black Americans who worry that the criticism of police will cause police to pull back. So this president is looking at this in a saving lives lens. I want to save lives. I'll put federal money in, as he did.
I would listen to that, except for one thing. As a Black American living in the inner city, my last thought is to call the police. So why would you say that? My last thought is to call the police. That's the last thought, not the first one. Because when the police get there, what do they do? Nothing. 90% of the time when you call the police, they don't do nothing. Because by the time they get there, you already beat up. They come take your statement. 99% of the time, by the time they get there, you already shot and laying in the middle of the street dead. And they put the tape around you. That's what they do. So where is the protection you talk about? Because if somebody living in the inner city, just saying you're going to call the police to get you shot, just saying the word out your mouth. And they know that the police ain't going to spend no time investigating your murder. They can care less. All they care about is getting there, taking your statement, putting the tape up, sit around, eat donut, talk to the media, and then they on to the next case. You know how many unsolved murder cases there are in these inner cities? Police is the last person to call. Calling the police might get you killed. Fast. If somebody angry with you.
Financial assistance was announced with AG Barr, and also additional manpower. He's very keen on seeing the violence in our streets, and he wants to protect the people of this country when derelict Democrat mayors and governors do not. And he's also appalled by cancel culture, and cancel culture specifically as it pertains to cops. We saw a few weeks ago that Paw Patrol, a cartoon show about cops, was canceled. The show Cops was canceled. Live PD was canceled. Lego halted the sales of their Lego City police station. It's really unfortunate because I stand with, and the president stands with, the 63% of Americans who think police officers are one of the most important jobs in this country. That's 63%. And with that, Caroline Levitt.
You know what? And 63% of the population, non-white people, 63% of the population, or they 65% of the population. They the ones that get locked in the house. They the ones that call on the police. Somebody walking down my street. Somebody got a hood on walking down. They calling the police. When we call the police, by the time they get there, ain't nothing for them to do. Who worried about the police? I'm just asking. You had a problem with somebody and the police sit right there. Most Black people don't even call them over. They're more liable to check you out than check out the person robbing you. So, don't know where she's going with that. Let's see what Donald Trump had to say today. We talked about him.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We've had a tremendous week uniting the country
Naya said donuts are yummy.
in our fight against the China virus. I've reminded people of the importance of masks when you can't socially distance in particular. A strong message has been sent out to young people to stop going to crowded bars and other crowded places. Yesterday we made the amazing announcement for our plans to protect nursing home residents. We're working very hard on that. We're doing very well all over the country. And also about contracting with Pfizer. We made a big, beautiful contract with Pfizer. We think they're very close, but we have a lot of companies that are very close to produce a vaccine. And I wanted to come out again today to share some additional news with you. This afternoon, my political team came to me and laid out our plans for the convention in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a place I love. I love that state. The drawings look absolutely beautiful. I never thought we could have something look so good so fast with everything going on. And everything was going well. A tremendous list of speakers. Thousands of people wanting to be there, and I mean, in some cases, desperately be there. They wanted to attend, people making travel arrangements all over the country, they wanted to be there. The pageantry, the signs, the excitement were really top of the line, but I looked at my team and I said, the timing for this event is not right. It's just not right with what's happened recently, the flare-up in Florida. To have a big convention is not the right time. It's really something that, for me, I have to protect the American people. That's what I've always done. That's what I always will do. That's what I'm about. They said, sir, we can make this work very easily. We have great enthusiasm, incredible enthusiasm. Even the polls say about the most enthusiasm they've seen. We can do this safely and we can do it responsibly. And I said there's nothing more important in our country than keeping our people safe, whether that's from the China virus or the radical left mob that you see in Portland, where I want to thank Homeland Security and others and law enforcement for doing a fantastic job over the last few days. They went in. People were out of control for 51 days, a long time. And Homeland Security and other law enforcement with us went in, and they've done a great job protecting our property, federal courthouse and other property, and most importantly, protecting our people. Or the senseless violence that you see in Chicago or New York or Detroit, a lot of other cities where so many people are shot and so many people are killed. And people elected me to help and to protect. So I told my team it's time to cancel the Jacksonville, Florida component of the GOP.
I like how you described that. Where was you at? When people were getting killed, skinned alive, just for the color of their skin. Didn't no president send nobody down there to handle that. I'm just asking the question. You say crime is up. I guarantee you, 90% of people that get shot done something to get shot. But we've had people dying 400 years that ain't done nothing and got shot. Well, why do you care now?
The convention will be starting in North Carolina for the Monday, as has always been planned. We're never taking that off. It's remaining as it is. The delegates are going to get together. That's where they do their nomination. So the delegates are going to North Carolina, and they'll be doing the nomination. And we're going to do some other things with tele-rallies and online the week that we're discussing, which will be really good. I think we're going to do it well. and I'll still do a convention speech in a different form, but we won't do a big crowded convention per se. It's just not the right time for that. I care deeply about the people of Florida and everywhere else, frankly, in this country and even in the world, who would be coming into the state, and I don't want to do anything to upset it. They'll be doing very well very shortly. We're going to put some maps up of the country behind me, and you'll see that the area that we're talking about is a hotspot. You'll also see a lot of the country has no problem whatsoever, most of the country actually. So I'm always going to take care of you, so that's the way we're going to do it. I've spoken to Governor DeSantis and informed other political leaders. I want to thank the Jacksonville community and its great mayor. He's a great guy, really great guy. They wanted it so badly. And all of the other political representatives in Jacksonville and in Florida, and just very special people, a very special group, and they were there for us 100%. Today I want to provide an update on the actions we're taking to support the safe reopening of America's schools. Parents around the world who have had their children home for the last few months have a greater appreciation for the fact that teachers are essential workers, that they're essential to our children's future. Our goal is to protect our teachers and students from the China virus while ensuring that families with high-risk factors can continue to participate from home. Very important. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released guidance recommending that schools reopen. It said, quote, lengthy time away from school and associated interruption of supportive services often results in a social isolation, making it difficult for schools to identify and address important learning deficits, as well as child and adolescent physical and sexual abuse, substance abuse, depression, and suicidal ideation. This in turn places children and adolescents at considerable risk of morbidity and, of some cases, mortality. Beyond the educational impact and social impact of school closures, there's been a substantial impact on food security and physical activity for children and for families. So that's very important, and there's a highway, it goes both ways. The National Education Association recently stated, despite the momentous efforts of educators during the pandemic, online learning has never been an effective replacement for in-person learning and support. Being at the school, being on the campus is very, very important. One study estimates that due to school closures last spring, the average student will begin this school year roughly 35% behind in reading compared to the typical year, and more than 50% behind in math. That's a big statement. According to McKinsey & Company, learning loss will probably be greatest among low-income Black and Hispanic students. They're the ones that are hit the hardest. We don't want that happening. 30 million American students rely on schools for free and reduced meals. Over 70% of the students who receive mental health services do so through their schools. According to HHS, 1 in 5 reports allegedly having to do with child abuse. They have neglect, and these are neglect and neglected cases are submitted by education personnel. So people in the education world on the premises will be the ones that report neglect and other problems when they see the children. They know if they've been neglected, they know if they've been hurt or harmed in any way, whether it's at home or someplace else, but they see this at school. You don't get to see that if you're not going to school. It's a big thing. Fortunately, the data shows the children are lower risk from the China virus very substantially. When children do contact the virus, they often have only very mild symptoms or none at all. And medical complications are exceedingly rare. Those that do face complications often have underlying medical conditions. 99% of all China virus hospitalizations are adults, and 99.96% of all fatalities are adults. That means that children are a tiny percentage, less than 1%, and even a small percentage of 1%. In a typical year, the flu results in more deaths.
Okay. So let's say out there 144,000, only 1,000 a kid. Which one of y'all are going to put your grandkids on the chopping block? Which one of y'all are going to put your kids on the chopping block? Because 1,000 of them got to go. You open school, you're going to lose 1,000. Who won't volunteer? Who first to volunteer their child? What about you, Sam? You going to volunteer your children today? Losing one child is one child too many. But we're going to sacrifice 1,000 just to go back to school. Who want their children to be in the morgue? We know that there's another disease that children get. They got their own coronavirus after they get it. People sending them dying. Do you want to be one of the 300 or that 1,000? You want that to be your children? You gonna volunteer them? You gonna put them on the chopping block? You gonna put them on the firing squad? You gonna put them in the death chair? I'm sick of you sitting home all day. Send your butt to school. Do you got the funeral money ready? It's real easy when you're thinking about somebody else's child. When is your child? When is your grandchild? When's that neighborhood child across the street you see every day out there? How the neighborhood gonna look when you look out the window and you don't see them out there playing? Here's the question that should be asked.
Of those under 18 in the United States that have been lost thus far to the coronavirus, many different names, many different names. The life of every child is sacred and must be protected. Our sole focus is the health and well-being of America's children. I have a very special person who loves children, who's I think one of the greatest athletes of all time. A lot of people say the greatest pitcher of all time. Known as a relief pitcher, could have been whatever he wanted. Some people, he is the greatest reliever of all time by far, substantially more saves than anybody else. In fact, he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom recently. And I'm reading off these stats. I knew he...
Well, he need to save you from this damn virus, because you're doing badly at it, sir. You need somebody to come in there and relieve and pitch for you.
Was the best. I knew he was great, but I didn't know it was almost double anybody else. But he's a man who loves children, has children, loves children, works hard with children. We're going to go outside and be with some little leaguers. Mariano Rivera, you know, he's the Sandman, right? My wife said, darling, why do they call him the Sandman? I said, you know, they play the song. He just puts the batters to sleep, and that's exactly what happened. So having Mariano here is a great honor. Thank you very much. I was talking about children in schools, and there's nobody that's done more than you have. Thank you very much, Mariano. Fantastic man. Given these considerations, we believe many school districts can now reopen safely, provided they implement mitigation measures and health protocols to protect families, protect teachers, and to protect students. And we do have to protect.
Okay. And you said that Georgia should open, and look at Georgia. You said that Florida was safe to open, and look at Georgia. I mean, look at Florida. You said Texas was safe. Look at Texas. That Missouri was safe. Look at Missouri. They followed your CDC guidelines. Look at New Orleans. New Orleans had that problem. And then they listen to you, and guess what? They're right back in the hot seat. California had locked down and was doing well. Now they number one, following your guidelines. Just looking at that behavior, why should we trust you with our kids? Those governors and those people trusted you and what you said. You even said you was going to relax some of the guidelines. You know how dumb that sounds? Why would I want to trust my kids with you, sir? Look what you did to the people of California, Texas, Florida, Carolina, Alabama, Arizona. How the heck would we want to trust you? Nevada. You keep saying open back up. It's too soon. It's too soon.
The teachers and the families also. We have to remember that all families should be empowered to make the decision that is right for their own circumstance. This is especially important if a child has underlying health conditions or lives with a parent or grandparent who's at higher risk. In cities or states that are current hotspots, and you'll see that in the map behind me, districts may need to delay reopening for a few weeks, and that's possible. That'll be up to government.
Look, man, you can't leave tough decisions to people. That's why we have leaders to make decisions that are tough. If you left it to everybody, there wouldn't be no police because we would just go around taking what we want. You have to decision to everybody. But nobody wears seatbelt. You have to decision to everybody. Tell them to do what you want. Drunk driving will be out of control. If you told people, you want to drink and drive, go ahead. You have to tell people what to do because you can't let them do what they want to do. That's why when you tell them to wear a mask, they fight you. You have to make a law. You want to go in the store, you got to have a mask on.
Governors, the decision should be made based on the data and the facts on the grounds in each community, but every district should be actively making preparations to open. Again, the children obviously have a very strong immune system, maybe even as strong as yours. They seem to be able to fight it off and not have a problem. So it's pretty amazing, actually. Great, great credit. Our strategy to safeguard risk while allowing those at lower risk, much lower in the case of young children, to resume work at school, and as long as everyone practices vigilant hygiene and social distancing. We want that. A permanent shutdown was never the strategy which would ultimately lead to greater mortality and irreversible harms. We don't want to do that. At the same time, we have to get our economy going. We had tremendous numbers issued yesterday. Housing prices, pricing of housing up 21%. It's the highest in history. It's the highest number in history. Real estate housing went up 21%. Today, the CDC will provide additional guidance for how schools can reopen safely. I hope that local leaders put the full health and well-being of their students first and make the right decision for children, parents, teachers, and not make political decisions. This isn't about politics. It's about something very, very important. This is not about politics. I even think it's bad politics if you do the wrong decision. Very bad politics. We're asking Congress to provide $105 billion to schools as part of the next coronavirus relief bill. This funding will support mitigation measures such as smaller class sizes, more teachers and teacher aides, repurposing spaces to practice social distancing, and crucially, mask wearing.
All right, I'm
Mr.
bored.
President, it's an honor to speak with you.
Oh, I'm bored. Anybody got any links they want to drop? I'm bored. This man doing everything he can to convince you that there is no virus. Doing everything he can do to convince you. Why he not talking about the fact that he said that he was going to give more money than the Democrats wanted? Why did he change his mind? If we wind up getting to 1,200, that's fine. But that's not what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to be more generous and bigger than what the Democrats wanted. Democrats wanted $2,000 a month for the rest of the year. He said he was going to be more generous. More generous. But we getting the same old $1,200. That's not being generous. He said bigger, better, and more generous. We getting the same thing. Actually, we getting lower. They were saying $2,000 a month for the rest of the year. That's $12,000. You want to give us? Then they came down. They said, well, $1,200 a month for the next 6 months. We right back down to $1,200 one time. But you wanted to be more generous than the Democrats. I'm just calling a lie out. He said he would veto any bill that didn't have the paycheck cut in it. Republicans said, oh, heck no. So now he came back with his tail between his legs. Well, we're going to give up on that, but we're going to try to get some stimulus money in your hand. And then they're giving us the same thing that we said before, but he said bigger, more generous. So he's not focusing on the virus. He's not keeping his promise. But he's more interested in what's going on the street. If you want to stop crime, policing does not stop crime. If I need to feed my family and I got to steal something, I'm going to steal it. I don't care if you got the military out there. They got to eat. I'm going to go get something for them to eat. Why not try to make things more fair in this country instead of the 3% having all the wealth? And do the things like I said, where we can stop depending on oil and get rid of these old hunchbacks, these old dried up farts with these oil companies that's sitting around trying to get all the money. Why don't we start making all our cars electric and gas run and train people to work on them so that way everybody get a little bit of money? But see, the rich don't want you to get no money. That's the problem. If you get a little bit of money, they got to get 15 times what you get. If not, they not happy. That's the problem. Because if a man could go work a job and pay his bills and take care of his family, he ain't got to go steal. He could be home with his family instead of out there trying to break into them. If people ain't depressed and they got a job to go to that's going to take care of their needs, they not going to need to get drunk. They not going to need to smoke weed. They not going to need to take drugs to escape the reality. Why can't we make things more fair? Stop importing all our money overseas. Let us make the product here so that everybody can get a little something in their hand. Let's work on that. Because if I'm working on something, I ain't got time to worry about what somebody else got. I'm getting my own. But if I don't see no opportunity, then I'm going to have to do what I had to do. So you can get rid of crime. Make everything fair. But this country's never been about. They tell you, but then when you go out there, you find out it ain't fair. They tell you it ain't fair. Democrats will tell you, but we'll give you a check you can barely live on. But, you know, it ain't fair, but you got something. Republicans say, reach my level and I'll deal with it. Well, how am I going to reach it? It's roadblocks all the way. Hey, get through them, and I'll deal with it. Why can't we have a party that says, hey, things are imbalanced, they're not fair? How do we shift? But see, here's the first problem you had. When you set the slaves free, you sent them out there with nothing. So they had to do what they had to do. And the cream always rises to the top. So some were able to get business. But then when they started to compete with the white people, they burned them up. We had a Wall Street. They came in there and they burned them up. We had places where we were doing our own thing. When we got too big, they came in there and they burned them up. When the slaves were freed and the soldiers were hanging around and making sure that the race of white people down south wasn't terrorized, they were doing well. Soldiers went back up north. Soldiers get white people back down. In South Carolina, one of the most egregious countries in the daggone, one of the most egregious states in the country. We had congressmen. We had mayors. They set out a campaign and ran all of them out of town. They didn't kill them. But the black people that didn't run, they had to start with nothing. White people had everything. You keep telling us we got to start with nothing. Our ancestors built this country. Why we got to start with nothing? Why do we have to start with nothing? And you wonder why some people take. They take because they feel that they should have been left in inheritance. Some people been living on this family for generations. But there are a few black folk that say that. There are a few black folk that say that. My family been living for generations. And then fought off white folk over the years. Had to pull shotguns on them. They were going to burn down the field. But those were the few that didn't get killed. There are a couple out there. A handful. Maybe 15 for every 2,000. If that. Might be 15 for every 10,000. It's not fair. And until you make it fair, and saying that, well, if you do this and you do that, and you do this and you do that, and then when you do make it, if you make it through all these loopholes, we don't want you to move next door to us. We don't want you to move in our gated community. We don't want to work alongside. We open up a grocery store and we have decent prices. You set up a better grocery store and you lower the prices so you put out the black business. When you put them out of business, then you jack the prices up. And now the black folk that was going to the black business in the beginning start going to your business. Now they can't afford to go to your business. This is what was done. Why don't they try to fix that? Then people wouldn't feel like it's too much to try and do it the right way. And then they wouldn't turn to the wrong way. But if you had a plan where you could say that's doable, because a lot of the times you got to sacrifice a lot. You got to do without. You got to see people around posting high while you struggling. And then when you make it, the media says you're a sellout. The media says you're a coon. The media says you want to be white because you got good grades. The media says you should be shunned. Whose media? We don't own the media. We don't bring no drugs into the community. We don't bring no guns. We don't know how to make guns. But yeah, we catch all the blame for it. Well, they make all the money. But they turning their heads and letting them drugs in here. They can stop drugs coming in here if they want to. But they keep turning their heads because somebody's making money. Somebody is making money. And they're making money off stuff. And those drug dealers that the media tell you to hate, they at the bottom of the level. Who's making all that money? Who's bringing the drugs? Who's really making the money? They won't tell you. But see, when you got the Mexicans going and they bringing in drugs, they want to shut down on them. How come they never shut down white people? Shut the majority of that stuff. How is it that it's still coming? They can stop. They stop what they want to. But they want to tell you in the media, see, it's some daggone black folks. They're doing it. When are you going to start being honest? Start being honest with me. Then maybe we don't have these problems. But as long as you allow what goes on to go on, there ain't going to never be no. We're going to always have crime. That was the problem we had with the Indians first came over here. Indians would share alike. The land belonged to everyone. Everything belonged to everyone. Well, I'm fencing this off. If you don't come over here, come through this fence, I'm going to shoot you. You can't take an apple off my tree. You got done it? I'll kill you. Apples belong to everybody. Nope. We sell them. Look at that piece of gold right there. Let me pick that up. Wait. Where you going with my gold? I'm going to melt that down and sell it. Don't touch my gold engine, I'll kill you. You always want to fence something off. You always want to take something yourself. How do you expect us to reach your level when you keep taking everything good and you leave us crumbs? And then you say, ain't you happy? You gotta wear the same outfit every day. Your shoes got holes in it. You work out there in the field all day in the hot sun and into the night. Then you get fed scrap. And they come by, hey, ain't you happy? I'm happy. You made me all that money. Ain't you happy? You enjoying your much? Ain't you happy? We allowed you on the job. We work you like a dog. And we go home with $3,000 more a week than you do. But guess what? Ain't you happy? We allowed you to make that $500. Ain't you happy? Go home and take care of your family with that $500. Ain't you happy? See that? You not changed no more. Ain't you happy? We built y'all. We let you build your own community over there. Why you want to come over here? Stay over there. Ain't you happy? Only time we want to see you is if you got some money for us or you want to work hard for us for a little bit of money. That's when we want to see you. But we see you though. Ain't you happy? You got to borrow all this money from the government to go to school. And now you owe the government $40,000 student loan. And now you expect us to give you a job. You can pay it off. Really? Get down there to the back of the line. I don't care if you got a master's degree. I don't care if you got a PhD. We still gonna start you down there at entry level. And you ain't gonna make no money the first 5 years because most of it gonna go to paying that student loan. But ain't you happy? We hired you. Ain't you happy? Ain't you happy? Until we fix the problem that we had, won't nothing change. Because the rich are gonna get and the poor are gonna, and some people will be happy and some people not gonna be happy. And those are the ones that's gonna be out there doing whatever they can to get the money they think they deserve. So until we deal with that, ain't nobody ever gonna be happy. Because you're not gonna be happy because you're afraid we're gonna come take what you got. We not gonna be happy because we know we can do better than what you've been giving. We know we worth more than what you've been trying to do. So ain't nobody. And that's us today in 2020. Very few people are really happy. Very few people are very happy. So when we're gonna start taking the blinders off and stop pretending, because everything is not fair. You know it. Hey y'all, it's somebody on my screen called Fun Defeat. Anybody know who that is? What the heck is a fun? Let's see what a Fun Defeat is. I guess you want us to flag who this. What the heck is a Fun Defeat?
With me, nigga, when I was helping you build your channel, sir, on my knowledge, not yours. When you showed up damn near butt naked to the show, sir, I have yet to take off my clothes for you, sir. But you sure took yours off. Remember? Do we not remember that? I do.
The heck is this?
Y'all remember that? I do. I sure do. Got it. But nigga, you's a nut rocker. That's what you are, and that's fine. It's fine with your overpriced shit. Nigga, so that's what you think with your cheap ass. Now what? You're cheap. You're cheap. Your personality is cheap. You're put together cheaply. There's not a millionaire on the fucking planet that dresses like you, sir. Continue your little tour, homie. Continue it, but don't you never put in your face again. She has my name in the title. You goddamn right. Finally, the feet has come back to YouTube. Boy, don't little boy. Little boy. I've raised men younger than you. No need to call me master of the sorceress. No need to say that. Just call me master, bitch. Just bow the fuck down and call me master. And if you can't do that, if it just so happens that your dick can't get hard.
Somebody named Bundy.
I forgot you were impotent. My fault. Wait, I gotta rethink that whole joke. Hold on. Rethink that whole shit. Okay, I gotta keep going. All right.
No disrespect, I don't know what this is.
Think them jokes, cause that I almost killed myself on that one.
And she got 44 people watching, so somebody like it.
Hey, Miss Billy.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, my love. What's up?
Oh God, I'm just taking a break from working on these chairs. You know, put my little spunk on them. I just wanted to say, hey y'all, hey. Hi. All peace and love, and maybe not, or not. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, because I don't know about any of the real customers of Fungi Face. We get our shit like in 1 to 2 days. That's fact. I don't care what I've ordered from Fungi. It's always been here from 1 to 2 days. So hopefully I get it by tomorrow, and hopefully I go live. Hopefully my husband will shut me down from going live, because I heard it was very potent. So we're going to see. Okay? For some of you who checked into my live, you know, sometimes I had to put a little penny in my teeth. Okay? So I'm not really good with the substances and vices. However, you know, if I go live with Fungi shit and shit get a little crazy, you know, we gonna see.
Okay. That was somebody called Fundi P. I think Vic might have mentioned her once or twice. I don't know who that is. Man. Let's see who this is. Friday Night Live.
That's worse than Lorraine Bobbitt. Somebody taking a damn ice pick and popping it in your eye socket and just digging up an area, scattering your brain up like scrambled eggs. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, I watched the thing on the dude that invented the lobotomy. Chop, hell. I mean, they just went up in there and put whatever kind of metal tool they had in there and just twisted it all around and messed with people's brains. That was horrible, you know? You'd rather go with the ice pick? I don't know about that one. The thing is, some of them wasn't sedated when they did it. That's just cruelty to the max. I mean, and then I watched a documentary thing on some people from Texas who they shipped up to Iowa.
Well, I'm one of four. She got the same amount of subscribers I got, and we both got 3 people in the daggone chat. So, okay. Okay. Looking for something to look at, y'all. This was an hour ago.
You answered, and boy, they're good. But will Congress have the answers to them as well?
This man on again? That's for it.
Do with dependents. As you know, up to yesterday, all the proposals on the table said that dependents, whether you are minor dependents or adult dependents over 17, 18 years of age, would get a second stimulus check, and you would get the full stimulus check, the same amount as a non-dependent. Well, the problem is we really don't know what's going on with the Republicans in the last 24 hours, because when asked the question, they're saying these phrases like, we're going to do the same thing as the first stimulus package. Well, the first stimulus package didn't pay adult dependents. The first stimulus package paid minor dependents $500, not $1,200. So do the Republicans intend to not pay adult dependents under a second stimulus package? Do they intend to reduce minor dependents from $1,200 down to $500? This would be totally contradictory to what they said just a few days ago. Another question I'm getting a lot of in the last 24 hours is what Donald Trump has said and now changed as well. He, as you know, said clearly over a week ago that the second stimulus check would be a lot more than what the Democrats are proposing. As you know, the Democrats are proposing one $1,200 check. He promised to give you more than that. He said that was stingy. Well, guess who's being stingy now? The Republicans are proposing to use exactly $1,200 again for the second stimulus check. So that is the real big questions I'm getting a lot of in the last few minutes. But let me go over where we were yesterday. I mean, it's changing by the minute. There's a couple confirmations if you put everything from this week and today together. The confirmations are there's going to be a second stimulus check. Second, we know when it's likely to get approved. It's still late July to early August. Third, we know now a little bit more about how soon you could get the check. There are some reports, as I detailed in the earlier video, that says that you could get the check in early or mid-August, not late August as initially thought, because there's a lot of reports. This is the third report I've seen now. They're not from the White House, they're not from the Democrats, they're not from the Republicans, they're from outsiders who say the IRS has upgraded their systems And because they now know where you are from the first stimulus check, provided you got one.
My name was Alana. I was
All righty. So now we know that we get man. Man, we got some weirdos on YouTube. All righty. So that was confirmation on what I said earlier. Donald Trump said we would get bigger, more generous stimulus. Now we getting the same old, same old. So now we know we only getting $1,200. I gotta make a decision. So no, let's go up here. All right. Yeah. That's what came up. He say fast. That's what I got right now. That kind of look like the same thing. Yeah, like the same thing we got now. It's only $600 though. How fast does it go? Does it go fast? I'll look at it. Not really what I wanted, but no, it looked the same. How fast it go? I'm too heavy for it. Still don't see the speed. Where's the speed? 3.8 miles per hour, man, and get that mess out of here. That thing weaker than what I got. I don't like that seat. That's what killed me with that. That seat sucks. If they had this seat on that, it wouldn't be so bad. This only $522. $25 miles per hour. You can achieve a 15 to 20 mile plus range on a full charge. Go 25 miles per hour. Anything. Yeah, look at the size of that battery. Like, you know what a battery is. I don't like the seat. Come with a basket. I don't like the seat. But that's not bad for oh, they got it at $522.78. That's not bad. But I mean, you know, if you don't take it to the, if we just ride around, that's not too bad. But I don't know if you can take it in the street legally. You know, I might be slick and see if I can glue some pedals on it, and we can take it in the street. I just don't like the seat. I guess you could buy some. Let's see what else they got. I know that that's crap. Is that the same one? I don't understand why they gotta look like that. I won't be able to get the power wheelchair. That's why I can't get a power wheelchair. Thanks to Trump, we can't get that. Thank you, Trump. That's it. That's all your selection. I guess we might have to get this. Gonna take all the money though. That's gonna take all the money. We might have to go with this one. We just might have to go with it. I mean, you know, I ain't even crying about it. We just might have to go with that one. They got the seat, but I don't have turn signal. That's what I wanted, one with turn signal. Let me see. You know good well they ain't got no daggone turn signals. Where you gonna tell that lie? Ain't nothing here that got turn signals. They all look cheap. Nah. They say these are the fast five. Maybe one of them cheap. That's 36. Can't afford that. I know we can't afford that. Babe, Mama Jama right there. I guess not. That's damn shame. I don't know which one was which. Uh-oh. Yeah, I knew they were gonna do that. doing the right one. No.
While also providing a silent and Introducing the EW18 Stand and Ride Mobility Scooter. This simplified scooter, while smaller than the average, is perfect for moving about in small places, while also providing a silent and smooth ride. And where it lacks in size, makes up for in power and performance. The scooter can be operated seated or standing. The smart charger is located in a convenient location at the base of the scooter, and with a full charge, the EW18 can travel an impressive 25 miles. Small but mighty, our stand and ride can easily hold up to 300 pounds and will reach a top speed of 15 miles per hour. There are many impressive qualities with the EW18, but one of the most popular is its ability to make a 365-degree turn within a 22-inch space. And available in red and blue, this scooter is going to turn some heads. Now, if all of this wasn't enough, our scooters come with a 1-year warranty. And because they are shipped fully assembled, we are able to run a quality control test on each and every one. So whether you are looking to use the EW18 for a quick trip to the mailbox or someplace where space is limited, you can rest assured that this e-wheel stand and ride scooter will deliver the highest quality and value for your money.
I don't know.
If you've been looking for a convenient way to get around virtually any location, you'll want to check out the eWheels EW18 Stand and Ride Mobility Scooter. This simplified scooter is smaller than average, making it perfect for moving about in small spaces, while also providing a smooth and silent ride. And where the EW18 lacks in size, it more than makes up for it in power and performance. One of the great features of the EW18 is that it can be operated either seated or standing, and with a full charge, can travel an impressive 20 miles. Small but mighty, our stand and ride can easily hold up to 300 pounds and will reach a top speed of 15 miles per hour. The EW18 is truly a go-anywhere scooter and can easily be folded up and taken with you. This compact design also enables you to make a 360-degree turn within a 22-inch space, which is why it's also one of our most popular scooters. Available in 5 different colors, this scooter is sure to turn some heads and also includes a removable storage bag for your belongings. Whether you're using the EW18 for a trip to the park or someplace where space is limited, you can rest assured that the eWheels EW18 Stand and Ride Mobility Scooter will deliver the highest value and quality for your money. Contact your local dealer to find out more today.
Let's take a look.
Triad 750 personal electric vehicle, the highest quality, lightest weight, most powerful, safest, and most dependable personal electric vehicle available in its class. Learn what makes the Triad 750 the safest and most reliable personal electric vehicle available. Featuring the stylish SE model, sporty SF2, or the all-new super heavy-duty Triad 750 XL. Custom manufacture your order and choose from different colors. Upgrade your Triad 750 with the heavy-duty front suspension or add an XL seat and backrest for comfort and stability. With more new models than ever, there's never been a better time to own a Triad 750. Get great offers on your Triad 750 models. Call 855-648-7423 to contact us or to find a retailer near you. Triad Electric Vehicles, the power to move you.
Well, I thought that I had seen most.
Oh Lord. That's so retarded right there. I can't get that. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, sorry. I can't do it.
Ah, Barker, you're RV guy extraordinaire. A lot of you know that I've got a nerve condition that causes me pain. A lot of you don't. But I do want to show you something so that you'll understand what I'm going to review next. That's my license plate. A little bit of a mobility challenge. Therefore, I'm looking for a solution. When I go to the campground, I want to be able to go around and see stuff. I found this bad boy on Amazon. This is the Challenger X mobility device. And what I like about it is I don't have to sit down. I've had the other handicapped scooters before. They don't go very fast. This one will travel 20 miles, 25 miles at 20 miles an hour. Got a heavy duty 700 watt hub motor, disc brake on the front, caliper brakes on the, or not caliper brakes, but hub brakes on the back. Weighs in a little over 100 pounds, so it's not too awkward to put in the back of the truck. What I really like is we've got front shocks to absorb the impact. Do a little run around at night. We got an LED headlight. Controls, low, medium, and high. One thing I found out with a 700 watt motor, when you've got it on high, it will spin out unless you're standing closer to the front. It is a fun way to go run around the campground, and see everything there is to see. It's also great when you go out to like Costco or something. My experience has been that people just run you over if you're in a little sit down. But when you're standing on one of these, people take note. The Challenger X. Find it on Amazon. I got the link in the description down there so you can go get one yourself. Even if you're not mobility challenged, these Chariot, it's fun to ride, man.
Boy, you ain't riding, sir.
Good time.
I don't know, y'all. We might have to go with that. You know, we might have to go with that.
Introducing the EW18 Stand and Ride Mobility Scooter. This simplified scooter, while smaller than the average, is perfect for moving about in small places, while also providing a silent and smooth ride. And where it lacks in size, makes up for in power and performance. The scooter can be operated seated or standing, and is foldable for easy transportation or storage. The smart charger is located in a convenient location at the base of the scooter, and with a full charge, the EW18 can travel an impressive 25 miles. Small but mighty, our Stand and Ride can easily hold up to 300 pounds and will reach a top speed of 15 miles per hour. There are many impressive qualities with the EW18, but one of the most popular is its ability to make a 365-degree turn within a 22-inch space. And available in red and blue, this scooter is going to turn some heads. Now, if all of this wasn't enough, our scooters come with a 1-year warranty. And because they are shipped fully assembled, we are able to run a quality control test on each and every one. So whether you're
So that was the 18. Let's see. All right, well, what's the E? What was the 29? What's the EW29? Oh Lord.
Hi, I'm Andy Barnes with eWheels University, and today I'm going to show you how to properly charge the EW29 electric trike from eWheels.
All right, hold on. We ain't got time for that. Let's move on.
The new eWheels EW29 electric trike is the perfect way to get around town when you want to get in a little exercise,
Oh, you know that's the only way.
exercise, or none at all.
Wait a minute.
All right, tell us about this thing, Bob.
This is an electric tricycle. It will travel about 20 miles, and you can get speed of up to 15 miles an hour on it. It's an excellent bike for people that don't want to pedal because it makes it much easier. You can pedal if you want and help it out, but I find it a little uncomfortable on this particular seat, so I'm going to change it out. It looks comfortable, but it isn't.
Is this the battery back here?
Yeah, that's the battery, and all you have to do is you put the key in here and turn it, and that little thing that pops will pop out, and then you can grab this as such and just lift it straight out.
And then you just plug it into like one tap?
Yeah, it's well, no, you plug it into a charger.
Oh, okay. How long does it take to charge?
Fully charge 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Now that it's been charged, it might take a little. Well, if I had a stronger, more power to it, it would charge in less time. My other bike's charged in less than 4 hours.
This is called an e-wheel?
Yeah, e-wheels. That's the name of the company, e-wheels. And they have about a dozen different kinds of tricycles that are electric.
All right, so how do you start it?
You turn the key.
Turn this key and it's ready to go?
And it's ready to go.
And then it doesn't go in reverse, you just go...
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Show me how... Get out, let me see how you do it.
Okay. First, let me get my water back in here. You step through like such.
Nice and easy.
Now I have the brake on, so I have to... This is the brake. You just pull this in and lock it. Now it's going to pop out. There it is.
Okay.
Now it's loose.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And over here, this button, this red button, that's going forward or backward. Now I hit it that way. And this is my accelerator here. I just turn this like that. Well, first of all, I have to give it power. I'm sorry. There's power. All lights are lit up, which means I have full power. I'm in reverse. So I just hit it like that, and it backs up.
Oh, okay.
Now I change it. That's for backing into places. Now it's on forward, and there we go. These are my hand brakes here, and basically that's it.
All right, let's take it for a spin. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Gotta go in between these cars.
Is it pretty stable?
No. Well, it feels very unstable. Because it's a trike, the brakes are just starting to seed in. Because it's a trike, it feels unstable, but it isn't. The wheels will tilt if you take a sharp enough. The one thing you cannot do.
All right, now we got a good shot, Bobs.
You see the seat swiveling, Tommy?
Yeah. Is it supposed to swivel?
No. And I had trouble balancing all the way here because of the damn seat. It's very short.
So does your feet spin around when it's going?
No.
Okay.
I can pump it, but as you can see, it's very hard. See,
yeah, because you're really low.
Yeah. And the problem is if I raise the seat, I don't feel, and I'm like this, I don't feel like I've got control.
Can you raise the handlebars?
They're up as far as they can go.
Oh, okay.
Raise them up. So here we go.
It looks pretty good.
Woo! Go, Grandma. Go, Grant.
You have to turn slow. Now, it's got good speed.
Oh, it flies. That's fast.
Go, Grandpa.
But it looks like you gotta really do the turns very slowly, otherwise it'll flip.
Okay, buddy, here you go. You're next.
All right.
Yeah, let him go.
Here's what it looks like.
All right, let's go.
It's fast. You gotta slow down. Oh shit. It's a little crazy. Oh man. It's dangerous. I don't know. This is more dangerous than I think his other.
We don't want to look at you, man. We want to see how fast this thing goes the road.
Papa Wheelie.
Watch and learn, man.
Hi, I'm Andy Barnes with eWheels University, and
I don't know. That's the eWheel 88. Is that better? Why they gotta make them so wide?
Hello, this is Bill with the Electric Wheel Store, and today we're talking about the new EW88 eWheels electric trike. The electric trike is a unisex bike. It's great for cruising, running errands, or just having fun. The trike is powered by a 450 watt motor. We call it a hub motor, and the bike is braked on the front with a V brake, a very simple brake, dock brake, and work on. The front of the bike also has a storage basket for easy in and out items to carry. The electric light on the front of the bike is also a nice feature. The electric light also serves as a battery indicator light, so that if your battery's full or low, you can actually see the printout on the light indicator itself. To the left of the light indicator is an electric horn. It's the green button, and then on the right hand side you'll find a red switch, which is a forward and reverse electric switch. The brake lever also has a parking brake. You simply pull back the brake lever and push the parking brake down, and the bike will stay in place. The bike also features a very comfortable seat with the backrest for easy, secure riding. And the rear of the bike has a storage basket, which is very large and will carry a lot of products. It's also very easily removed. And underneath the storage basket is the electric battery. And the battery can be removed by inserting the key, and the battery can be charged either on the trike or anywhere, and you can leave the trike outside. The rear wheels are braked by the powerful drum brake located on the back rear wheel. And then we also have a couple reflectors on the back of the bike for evening driving. So overall, this is a wonderful bike. You can find it at www.electricwheelstore.com.
Let me see. You're right. Notification didn't go out. It's too big. It's too big. I don't know where I would put it at. I don't know where I would put it at. I'm being honest. That's just too big. I have no idea where I would put it at. I have no idea where I would put it at. Well, we know we only getting. We know we only getting. Well, can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. What the heck is that? I got a two-seater. Don't need that. That's a 34. 72. What about the 30? How good is that? We already
Wheel
saying
transaxle.
that. Sorry.
When you need to get around in comfort and style, the new EW32 scooter from eWheels is the way to go. This functional three-wheel scooter can travel up to 30 miles on a single charge and reach speeds up to 10 miles per hour. With a weight capacity of 350 pounds, a rear-wheel transaxle motor, rear disc brakes, and full suspension, this scooter is ready for any daily task. Whether the ground is paved or not, the EW32 is a breeze to drive, with a tight turning radius that makes getting around fun and easy. The plush EW32 has been designed with your comfort in mind and features an oversized cushioned executive swivel seat that's fully adjustable with a tilting seat back, movable armrests, and flexible seat adjustments. With the EW32 scooter, you're always in control, with 2 speed settings for high or low speed to easily handle any driving situation. There's also a bright LED headlight and easy-to-use controls that make driving the EW32 a breeze. Convenience is always key, and the EW32 has you covered for trips to the park or to the store. You'll find plenty of space with our extra-large covered storage basket placed conveniently behind your seat, right where you need it. The EW32 is also a thoroughly modern scooter that keeps you connected with a deluxe electronic package that includes a wireless Bluetooth speaker, a USB port, and even a cell phone holder right at your fingertips. And if all of this wasn't enough, our scooters come with a 3-year warranty and are shipped directly to you, fully assembled and ride ready. Just charge it up and off you go. So if you're looking for a super functional scooter that does it all, look no further than the new eWheels EW32. Order yours today.
Hold on, go back.
This functional 3-wheel scooter can travel up to 30 miles on a single charge and reach speeds up to 10 miles per hour. With a weight capacity of 350 pounds, a rear-wheel transaxle motor, rear disc brakes, and full suspension, this...
Okay, so it goes 30 miles per hour. There you can. There you can. Oh. Oh. Fancy was one I ain't seen yet. Oh. All right. Let me check the chat. Is anybody still here? Ricky Jones said he didn't receive a notification. No, it didn't go out, but I let a lot of people know on Hangouts live and it didn't come. So it's all good. Told y'all, really don't care how many people watching. I mean, it'd be nice to have, you know, that's why we not really doing anything. Because ain't nobody here. That's all good. Like I said, the wrestling just went off. So I don't know, you know, I like the mobility scooter because you can take it everywhere. And that's why I wanted to get the 36. It had turn signals on it. I really like it. So we're not gonna be able to get that because that costs $1,000. We're not gonna be able to get it. Okay. And to get over it, we're not gonna be able to get it. But we can get the if I get that cheap seat, I can get the one for $990. If I get the seat, I can get the one for $1,100. I mean for $1,100. Because $10.99, $1,100. That would only leave 100 left out the center. But since we got a mobility scooter that we can take to the farm, that we can take to the market, and that we can take to the doctor, we only need one to take to the other doctor. So I might could get right and just use that for when we just go out riding around. Problem is, I guess I could get that. I mean, it said 18. One was 20 miles per hour. But the one they had for 10, you want to go more than 10 miles per hour, but, 10 miles per hour for 30 miles. That's when we would go to our trek. But it would have been nice to got that one with turn signals and be able to go 18 miles per hour for 40 miles. But, I don't know. Hey, man, which one do I have y'all on? Oh, I got y'all on the WitchCon. Okay, so y'all was seeing almost everything perfect. Let me try this. Let me try let me try 700 watt. They all are on today. Let's try this. They more expensive. What? We supposed to believe this. Yeah, whatever. That's somebody gonna take your money. Can't get that for no daggone 99 bucks. So believe that. How we see? Huh. All righty. Let me stop boring y'all to death. See what's going on here. Oh, excuse me. All right, check this out, y'all.
Right now on KPX5 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area, a San Jose police officer seen kicking and dragging a woman across a McDonald's parking lot. The witness video prompting an investigation.
This is not about, in my view, a bad apple. This is about a bad culture.
Good evening, I'm Veronica Dela Cruz.
And I'm Ken Bastida. An arrest outside of McDonald's, sparking some new scrutiny of the San Jose Police Department. KPIX5's Len Ramirez is live at the parking lot on Santa Clara Street, and he just got some new information about the officer involved. Len?
That's right, Ken. Late-breaking information from the San Jose Police Department. The officer primarily involved in the video you are about to see has been placed on administrative leave pending an internal affairs investigation of this incident.
Seconds into the video, the officer is seen kicking a woman who is on her knees. He then tackles her while a partner points a gun. A passenger and children in the car can be heard crying out. Then bystanders start shouting at the officers. The first officer handcuffs the woman behind her back and then drags her across the pavement face first.
If anyone wanted a prime example of use of excessive force by a police officer, this incident is one.
LaDoris Cordell is a former judge and independent police auditor for the city of San Jose.
She is kneeling on the ground, so there is clear there is no resistance. The officer initially kicks her in the abdomen. He grabs her and drags her across the asphalt so that her face is actually dragging on the asphalt to locate her further away from the car. Again, another excessive use of force.
Police say the officers stopped the car because the vehicle was wanted for evading officers on July 18th and again earlier on Wednesday, but a police statement did not say why the vehicle was suspicious. The statement does say, quote, officers used force during the arrest after the suspect failed to comply with their commands. The department has initiated an internal investigation into this incident. San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo had a strong reaction to the video.
It's important for us to understand and for the public to understand fully what exactly happened. That being said, it's not obvious that that justifies the use of force that we see in this video.
Mayor Liccardo says he asked the police department to immediately release body cam video of the McDonald's incident, which is the latest in a series of controversies to hit the San Jose PD, including excessive force allegations stemming from Black Lives Matter protests and reports of a secret Facebook page in which officers exchanged racist posts.
This is not about, in my view, a bad apple. This is about a bad culture.
Yeah, Len, as in all these cases where video's involved, we can only take it in the context that we see it. We don't know all the details, and I respect the mayor for his insistence on an investigation on this. What other reforms are going on under Sam Liccardo's mayorship there in San Jose and the police department? What's happening?
Well, there's obviously a lot going on internally with the police department. Chief Eddie Garcia has his hands full now with yet another investigation in addition to the other things that were mentioned in the piece just now. But Besides that, the District Attorney's Office just announced this week that it is forming a new group within that office to oversee police investigations of itself. So there is some outside scrutiny. I talked to some city council people today who are concerned about this video and some of these recurring events that continue to happen in San Jose. Should also mention, Ken, that the suspect who was arrested here was booked into jail on a few relatively minor charges, including resisting arrest, driving on a suspended license, and possession of paraphernalia.
Len Ramirez reporting live for us from San Jose. Thank you.
Uh-oh, 2 hours ago, wait a minute.
We're underreported news that you deserve to know. Why? Why doesn't the mainstream media want you to know about this? This is what the mainstream media won't tell you about the news this week. David Daleiden, the man who exposed Planned Parenthood's brutal baby body parts chop shop, he was cleared of 14 out of 15 felony charges by a judge in California, yet the mainstream media ignored that. Hillary Clinton called the Republicans the party of death. This from the same woman who abandoned 4 Americans to their death in Benghazi and then lied about it, from the same woman who condemned Donald Trump for violent, extreme rhetoric. Yet the mainstream media, they ignored that. The radical left-wing progressive activist turned would-be assassin targeted Republicans at the congressional baseball practice because they were Republicans, hated Trump, ranted on Facebook about the GOP, and carried a hit list of 6 GOP congressmen. Yet the mainstream media ignored that. If the Capitol Hill police hadn't been at the baseball field to protect Congressman Steve Scalise, the shooting would have been a massacre because it was a gun-free zone. Yet the mainstream media ignored that. Congresswoman-elect from Georgia's 6th District, Karen Handel, she's pro-life. She campaigned on pro-life issues. Democrat John Ossoff outspent Handel $23 million to $6 million, and Handel still won. If that election was the referendum on Trump liberals painted it to be, then Trump's got a pro-life conservative mandate. Yet the mainstream media ignored that. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff says the way that President Obama handled Russia's meddling in our election after Obama was notified about it was a big mistake. Mainstream media is ignoring that. Schiff says reports that Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, told former FBI Director James Comey to call the investigation into Hillary's email a matter instead of an investigation makes Schiff feel queasy. The mainstream media ignored that. Bernie Sanders' wife, Jane Sanders, she's under FBI investigation for a potentially massively fraudulent bank loan. The mainstream media couldn't care less. Senator Bernie Sanders himself might be under FBI investigation too for potentially pressuring the big bank to approve the loan. Big banks, Bernie Sanders, you'd think the mainstream media would be interested, but nope. This FBI investigation reportedly began while Obama was president.
All right, hold on a second, y'all. Wait a minute now. Did we see this?
At the moment, a lot of audios are not being brave. They're allowing the...
We got him on the place. Oh, Lord.
Tonight, there is new leaked audio
Help
from
us, y'all. Help
Chicago
us.
that shows exactly what was going on behind the scenes.
Tucker.
It's remarkable. And
Tucker.
surprisingly, our chief correspondent, Trace Gallagher, has it all on tape. Trace?
Hi, Tucker. This was a conference call on Sunday, May 31st, to talk about Chicago's response to the widespread looting. On the call were Mayor Lori Lightfoot and all 50 Chicago aldermen and alderwomen, including Alderman Raymond Lopez, one of the mayor's harshest critics. Now, for context, on the day of the conference call, Chicago had 699 arrests, mostly looters. 132 officers were injured. There were 48 shootings, 17 homicides, and Alderman Lopez accused the mayor of being underprepared as the looting spread, saying his ward had become a virtual war zone. Listen.
Half our neighborhoods are already obliterated. It's too late. We have to come up with a better plan, because my fear is once they're done looting and rioting and whatever's going to happen tonight, God help us. What happens when they start going after residents, going into the neighborhoods? Once they start trying to break down people's doors so they think they got something, or, we know that people are here to antagonize and incite, and you've got them all pumped today. They're not going to go to bed at 8 o'clock. They're going to turn their focus in the neighborhoods. I've got gangbangers with AK-47s walking around right now, just waiting to settle some scores. What are we going to do?
And the alderman wasn't exaggerating. In his ward, 2 Walgreens were burned down, along with restaurants, shops, and an entire strip mall. But when Lopez finished speaking, Mayor Lightfoot refused to respond. So Alderman Lopez demanded that she respond. Finally, she did. Watch.
I think you're 100% full of what I think. If you think
no offense, well, you then. Who are you to tell me I'm full of?
And if you think we were not ready and we stood by and let the neighborhood go up, there's nothing intelligent that I can say to you.
Well, maybe you should come out and see what's going on.
The stupidest thing I have ever heard. I understand you want to preen. I understand that you think that you.
Mayor, you need to check your attitude. That's what you need to do.
When the other alderman jumped in to calm things down, but Alderman Lopez and the mayor weren't the only ones trading profanities. Another alderwoman was heard saying this is a total blank show, and the mayor added that she'd never seen blank like this before. One alderman finally spoke up, saying many people in the city were listening to the call, including children. Tucker.
Amazing. Amazing tape. Trace Gallagher, thanks so much for that.
Sure.
The left-wing media gets it wrong so many times, it's really hard to keep track. But the new superstar at the podium is keeping them in check.
CNN's Chris Cuomo said, "Show me where it says protesters are supposed to be peaceful." Well, I point him to the First Amendment where it says that you have the right to, quote, peaceably assemble. He should go back and read the Constitution. I think, you're asking the wrong question. The right question is where did the data... And I answered your question once, but if you ask it twice, it doesn't make it any better of a question. And did anyone take it upon themselves to pose any questions about Michael Flynn unmasking the President Obama spokesperson? Oh, not a single journalist has posed that question. I was asked probably 12 questions about the Confederate flag, and I'm a little dismayed that I didn't receive one question on the deaths that we got in this country this weekend. Not one question. I didn't receive one question about 5 children who were killed.
The president said to parents, well, now going, okay, what do I do with my kids?
Yeah, the president has said unmistakably that he wants schools to open. The science should not stand in the way of this. Of course, we can do it. Everyone else in the Western world, our peer nations, are doing it. The science is on our side here.
After that last exchange, CNN reporter Jim Acosta took to Twitter to take a jab at Kayleigh McEnany with this.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all hear what she said? Ain't nobody talk about the people dying. They not talking about the 145,000 people dead from the COV on that watch. They not talking about that. I haven't heard nobody say anything about the people that we lost because of the COV. I ain't heard nobody make not one comment about us losing the people to the COV. Not one comment. No prayers to the family. Did Trump send anybody to any of the funerals? Did they send the people money to help them bury their loved ones? Did they do anything? Did they do anything? Funny how you call somebody out about one thing, but what about what you done? You ain't done nothing. You sit there and lie to the people and tell them everything gonna be all right. Go tell them 145,000 people with them families. Go tell them families they're gonna be okay. Have you done that? Have you sent anything out? Even a letter of condolence to those 144,000 people? Did you go by and visit the people that's in the ventilators and in the ICU all around the country? Have you made visits to them and say, I'm sorry, I didn't close the country down. I'm sorry, I couldn't do better for you. Maybe you wouldn't be up here in this ventilator. Maybe you wouldn't be in the ICU if I was a better president. Has he gone around and done that? No. He going around acting like his stuff don't stink. So don't talk about nobody else saying anything when you won't talk about the man you represent. The man that keeps lying to the American people. The man that's letting people die for no reason. Shut the country down. We can stop all this. You might can't stop heart disease. You might can't stop lung cancer. You might can't stop kidney disease, but we can stop this by locking down. Stop being so daggone cheap, Mr. McConnell. Give everybody enough money so they can stay in the house for 17 days. That's something you can do. Only let medical workers out. If you ain't got something to do for saving somebody's life, shouldn't be on the street. You can have the police walk up and down the street. You can have state militia walk up and down the street. You want to send people to Portland and Chicago, send the military to walk the streets to make sure everybody stay in the house. Then we ain't got no CV. 17 days later, we can reopen. We can have our school. Lock the borders. Don't let nobody in. Nobody in, nobody out. Start making our own stuff. Let's start converting these cars from oil to electricity. So people can charge their cars before they leave the house. So they can charge their cars while they're at work. They can charge their cars while they're at the restaurant. So they don't need no gasoline. Tell our Arabs to go to heck. Take that money and keep it. Tell China to keep that cheap stuff they sold us to break anyway. Tell them to keep the cheap headphones. We'll make our own. High quality. And because we making our own products, we'll have the money to buy them at full price. And now, people working. Ain't nobody sitting around trying to rob no bank. Ain't nobody sitting around trying to rob no jewelry store. Ain't nobody worrying about breaking in somebody's house. They working on getting their own house because they got jobs, good paying jobs. And the money is staying in America and it's making everybody's pockets so fat. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about deals. You ain't got to worry about pimping. You ain't got to worry about making no CD, hoping to be a music star. You ain't got to worry about being a comedian. You can work a job, pay your bills, get you a nice mate, take care of your family, have benefits. Let's start making our own drugs. That's jobs right there. Stop buying drugs from China. Let's start making it. We start making our own drugs. That's going to lower the price. Don't have to overcharge. We're keeping our own money. Everybody should have health insurance. Make a national health insurance program that everybody pay into equally. And then we can have health insurance. And the doctors can get paid. And the hospitals can get paid. That's something that we can do right now, but you won't do it. That's something we can do right now, and you won't do it. So don't tell me about what else is going on in the country. You can stop it right now. You can stop it right now. And let everybody participate and let everybody have a little bit of the wealth. Now there's no jealousy. And let people go as far as their physical and mental ability to let them go. That's something that we can stop giving our money to other countries. Stop outporting all the jobs. Make the United States what it was, a manufacturing company. Let's make our own stuff and be independent. Tell the other countries to kiss our rump. We got rid of our CV. You want us to do business with you? Get rid of your CV. That's something we can do right now. That's something we can do right now. Anybody want to come in the country, y'all get quarantined 14 days. That's something we can do right now. You that desperate to have stuff come in, the people that bring it, they got to be quarantined for 14 days. Or they can enter the country and do what they got to do. So whatever they got to do, they better come 14 days early. So they can get quarantined, checked out, we don't have no CV. How come I can sit here and think of that? But all these great minds, same way y'all sit there and say, you didn't go to, you didn't finish Bible college, so you shouldn't call yourself a preacher. You got politicians, you got the president, you got governors. How come I'm sitting here and think of that? How come I can think of that, but these retards can't? Answer that question. You want to get real? All this bickering and fussing. Republicans bickering and fussing over money that ain't theirs. Who they working for? They ain't working for the people. Because they never do what the people want. They do what the top 3%. That's what they do. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of this excuse. Just sick of it. They just create more lies to cover up more lies to get what they want. Change history to get what they want. Sick of it. What you say, Nia? Tucker. Tucker. Y'all remember Tariq Nasheed when he was on the show? Tucker. Went on there and made a fool out of himself. He's so happy to be on there, and I realized that the man brought him on there to make him look like a daggone fool. That's what he brought him on there for. All right, y'all, it's 11 o'clock. We ain't had so many topics. Ain't nobody debate me on nothing. Nobody talk with me today about nothing. Good topics today. Nobody want to talk about them. But yet, I took you in some other chats, and you done seen people in there acting a daggone fool.
A Democrat, even though both Democratic.
I don't get it. Trying to see if anything good here. Ain't nothing going on. I don't see that. Check this out real quick.
In local matters, Florida reaches another grim milestone, reporting 173 coronavirus deaths on Thursday. That unfortunately sets a new state record for the highest single daily death toll. It comes the same day Florida also confirmed more than 10,000 new cases, bringing the total to more than 389,000. The surge in numbers is causing critics to push back on a state mandate requiring schools to reopen for 5 days a week in the fall. For more, let's bring in Jim DeFede. He's an investigative reporter for our CBS News station in Miami. Jim, so good to have you with us. You have, first of all, some new reporting on the president's new decision to cancel the RNC in Jacksonville. What can you tell us?
So there were a number of factors that went into the president's decision to cancel the Jacksonville portion of it. I'm told by reliable sources that in addition to the health concerns, which were serious and legitimate, you also had issues with a number of members of Congress and other high-ranking officials just not being willing to attend. You also had the sheriff in Duval County around Jacksonville say he could not keep the facility safe. And I can tell you that I know from the governor's schedule that the governor spoke to both the vice president and the president last night, and he talked to the mayor of Jacksonville today. So you can sort of see a number of things were taking place. And one thing that I was told as well is fundraising for the RNC convention in Jacksonville was not going well. There were serious problems in being able to raise the money necessary to hold the event. And the final straw may have been tomorrow, city officials and county officials in Jacksonville were scheduled to hold a meeting where they were going to raise those concerns even more about the ability of them to hold their event. So the president, the timing of this may be tied to other things rather than just the coronavirus.
Jim, this is so interesting. I want to follow up with you a little bit on this point. We know that the RNC and the DNC always choose cities that they're hoping that they're going to win in the November election, or states that are crucial to them. How do you think the president's decision to cancel the Florida component of the RNC is going to play with voters there? Positive, because it seems like he's taking the coronavirus more seriously, or negative because he's changing everything up at the...
Let's see what Governor Cuomo got to say.
Good to see everybody. Bright and
I know he had.
distanced.
He got to be.
Masks.
That's got to be a noose off his neck.
To me, we're in honor of Captain. Captain is having a difficult time with COVID also. Pack disruption. You know what pack disruption is? Dog has a sense of a pack. Then all of a sudden other people come into the home and now the pack is disrupted. It's a very real issue that we're dealing with. To my right, everybody knows Kelly Cummings, Director of State Operations. To my left, everybody knows Beth Garvey, Special Counsel to me. Today is day 146 in beautiful Albany. It is all good news today. 650 hospitalizations. 650 hospitalizations is about 56 lower than yesterday. It is the lowest since March 18th, so this is really good news and exciting news. Good news for a Friday. 156 total ICUs, that's the lowest number of people we've had in an ICU since March 16th, so that is all really good news. Number of deaths, 9. When anyone dies, it's not a good day. We want to get to a point where nobody dies in the state of New York, as impossible as that would be. But our thoughts and prayers with the 9 people who passed away. But that is also very, very good news compared to where we were. Infection rate, 76,000 tests taken yesterday, 0.9% positive. So that is also very good news. So on this Friday, there's going to be a lot to celebrate this weekend. Not that this weekend is much different than during the week. We look across the regions of the state. It is all good news. No issues. You see a little slight fluctuation, but you always see a slight fluctuation in the numbers. Look across New York City, same thing, slight fluctuation, but all good news. We are very proud of what New Yorkers have done. We're now protecting our progress, right? We just want to make sure we don't have a second wave, or we don't have a ricochet where the virus comes from other states, or we don't have an increase from young people who are congregating. We went up the mountain, we went down the mountain. New Yorkers flattened the curve, but we don't want to do it again, right? One and done. Thank you. But no thank you, we don't want to go through it again. One of the things we're watching are the bar and restaurant violations and the congregations in front of bars and restaurants. We believe that's connected to the increase in the number of young people. The infection rate among the number of young people, 21 to 30, went from 9 to 13, so we're watching that. I've asked local governments repeatedly to step up and do the enforcement. That's what they're supposed to do, enforce the law. They're not enforcing it aggressively enough. I said the state liquor authority and the state police would help, and we are doing just that. Yesterday, they went out last night.
He ain't bragging. I'd have been bragging. Trump talks to Putin as...
Hello there.
Are you sitting? Sorry with that, y'all. That's because of the microphone promo.
And good evening once again, day 1281 of the Trump administration. 103 days to go now until the presidential election. Donald Trump, as you may know, has been pushing for a big Republican national convention like the coronation in Cleveland back in 2016. He wanted it in North Carolina, but when that state's governor insisted on strict health protocols, Trump pulled it out of there, put it in Florida. In 8 weeks, that state has grown into the coronavirus epicenter, and after the local sheriff said he couldn't guarantee the safety of visitors to Jacksonville, well, today, after all that, Trump scrapped it.
My political team came to me and laid out our plans for the convention in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a place I love, a tremendous list of speakers, thousands of people wanting to be there, the pageantry, the signs, the excitement were really, really top of the line. But I looked at my team and I said, the timing for this event is not right. It's just not right with what's happened recently, the flare-up in Florida. I said there's nothing more important in our country than keeping our people safe, whether that's from the China virus or the radical left mob that you see in Portland. So I told my team it's time to cancel the Jacksonville, Florida component of the GOP convention.
Indeed, just today in Florida, over 10,000 new cases have been reported and 174 deaths in 24 hours. That's a new one-day record. Florida is now number 3 on the list of states with most cases in our nation. Trump's decision to cancel the convention also comes on the same day the U.S. topped 4 million infections. We were at 3 million just 16 days ago. But the president, after canceling the convention due to public safety, still wants those kids back in school in Florida. Today, he once again seemed to downplay the threat of this latest surge, made his latest pitch for reopening schools, insisting children are not at risk.
The American Academy of Pediatrics has released guidance recommending that schools reopen. They often have only very mild symptoms or none at all. And medical complications are exceedingly rare. Those that do face complications often have underlying medical conditions. 99% of all China virus hospitalizations are adults, and 99.96% of all fatalities are adults. In cities or states that are current hotspots, and you'll see that in the map behind me, districts may need to delay reopening for a few weeks, and that's possible. That'll be up to governors. Today, the CDC will provide additional guidance for how schools can reopen safely. We're asking Congress to provide $105 billion to schools as part of the next coronavirus relief bill. Roughly half of them now, which is a tremendous increase, are 5 to 15-minute tests or tests done in a hospital where you get the results back in less than a day, some cases immediately. We're continuing to surge testing. The Northeast has become very clean. The country is in very good shape, other than if you look south and west, some problems. That'll all work out.
The new CDC guidelines for school reopening did come out shortly after Trump gave the briefing. The emphasis is very much on getting children back into schools. We'll talk about it with a doctor standing by for us in just a moment. You may recall Trump rejected the original CDC guidelines as, quote, very tough and expensive. Ironically, the New York Times reports that the school attended by Trump's youngest son, Barron, St. Andrew's Episcopal, a private school in the Maryland suburbs, will not fully reopen this fall out of concern for the pandemic. Today, Trump was joined in the briefing room by one of the medical professionals on the task force. There she is, Dr. Deborah Birx, although she sat and did not participate. For that matter, former Yankee relief pitching great Mariano Rivera was also there in the briefing room. For a later baseball event, he remained silent on the bench along with Dr. Birx. We haven't heard from Birx officially for days, but we did get to hear her voice today. We just weren't supposed to. The Center for Public Integrity obtained audio of Dr. Birx on Wednesday, warning state and local leaders in a private phone call, or so she thought, that nearly a dozen major cities, including Vegas, Miami, Nashville, New Orleans, need to take aggressive steps to contain their outbreaks. And again, as you listen to this, listen for a city near you, and remember this was not intended to be given out to the public, even though it involves the public health.
Other cities that are lagging behind that, and we have new increases in Miami, New Orleans, Las Vegas, San Jose, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Cleveland, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Baltimore. So we're tracking this very closely. We're working with the state officials to make sure we're responding together. But when you first see that increased test positivity, that is when to start the mitigation efforts.
Back to the president. For his part, he managed to find time to talk to a short list of select world leaders today.
This morning I spoke with President Putin of Russia, and they're going through a very hard time with this, in Moscow in particular. I spoke to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They're doing well, but they're going through a lot.
Readouts from those calls from both sides, the White House and the Kremlin, make no mention of Russian hacking of coronavirus vaccine research, nor of the Russian bounties on the heads of American soldiers in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. The one thing you should have been asking about. The one thing you should have been asking about. Oh, I thought we was on the other channel. I thought we was on the other channel. Okay, well, I ain't gonna sweat it. Alrighty. Anybody want to talk? If there ain't nothing going on. Anybody want to talk? Hello. All right, then let's go ahead and end this. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to go watch the wrestling. We on that channel. We was on that. All right. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all had a great evening. Thanks for watching both channels today. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be on the Minister channel, and it'll be the Saturday Sabbath. Then after the sermon, if y'all want to bring your link, we'll come off the Minister channel back to this channel. We're going to keep the Minister channel clean until October the 11th. Okay? That's when it'll be off the probationary thing. But we still have access to it. But if we go there again, then we'll have a second strike, and then we'll be on the road. Because then you get one more strike, and that's it. So we don't want to get the second strike. So we just going to keep it clean. Only the mobile live and Sunday Sabbath. And like today, I tried to spark a conversation. We only brought news articles. You don't get flagged for news articles. So that's why we didn't show any on the big channel. But y'all said y'all wanted to have some links, and we came over here, and nobody came and brought none. So that's why I say there ain't no need in risking the channel. You know, and then you're not ain't gonna follow up. So Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to go make salmon and some peas and corns and carrots. And I'm going to have a good night. And I hope you have a good night too. See y'all tomorrow for the sermon. Have a great one, everybody. Peace. And Donald Trump, stop lying to the Americans.